You really asked us now? Like 10 seconds before
Well,
it
you
can.
have two disguises, right? You have two functional disguises,
Costumes,
so choose
yeah.
what those costumes are.
That's not supposed to be happening.
Shit. I don't like my voice.
You want your introduction to be, how's the disguise doing? I'm playing bars. I didn't think to look it up until 10 seconds before.
Fuck off.
Are we live?
Technically, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, it's okay.
I love it.
That's
Okay,
fine.
so you
How's the
just
sound?
choose what your two disguises
Wait, are we
are.
live streaming too, or did
Yeah,
that...
but it's using the shitty mic because the good ones aren't working.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
for the live stream, we're going through the mics on that.
So,
All right.
So the audio is going to be really crappy for the live stream. So
Sorry, guys.
apologies to everyone who's listening in the live stream.
To the
which-
one person who's
And
listening.
then when we upload the other stuff, it's going to be better, right?
Yeah, it's
she's
going to be
not.
using our actual
not.
microphones.
She's definitely
Asking the important
taking a bite of
questions.
the crust, if you know what I mean.
no, I'm pretty,
Why would
I'm
you
pretty
do
sure
that?
She told me that he had.
Fine,
A
alright.
No, what? He didn't
Fine.
say that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, God.
All right, yeah.
Now she's not
You're
allowed
a
to
horrible
watch.
person. All right. And you suck.
Hey, you have to admit, that was a good one.
Oh,
That
a
was
great one.
meaty. Yeah, it was good.
All right.
But you still suck.
Oh wait, I did.
I need to tell my brother to start watching.
Ow! Oh, he's
If he
gonna
wants,
watch.
gotta tell him.
Oh,
if he wants
sick.
to, it's going to be pretty bad audio though. It's just twitch.tv/hardly
Do
nerding.
we have like a
Oh, we're on
chat
Twitch?
function Twitch?
Yeah, I
Is
have
he just
the-
going to be spamming like
I
you
have the
guys
chat.
suck
I have
the
the chat
entire
open in
time?
front of
Is it a video or is
Yep.
it just audio?
So there's video here, here, and here. So
Oh, over there too.
Twitch/what?
hardly
Hardly
nerding,
Nerding.
our handle, Kareem.
Do you think your brother would come on and insult us the entire time?
Yeah.
And like heckle us?
Come on, as
In
anonymous.
the
Well,
chat.
let's get ready and actually
Okay,
get
sorry.
into this here. That's
Sweet.
fine.
that's good.
No, I just have it on the stream is starting soon, so technically the stream isn't supposed to start till 6 our time for like us doing stuff. So
Oh,
we're still on track.
Also, when you put it on Twitter, you put 6:30 Eastern. We're in the Atlantic time zone, Evan.
Yeah, I know.
6:30 Eastern's like 7:30 p.m.
Oh, really? Okay, never mind. Fucked it up. It's cool.
That's true!
That's okay. Who's
Sorry
even
for blowing
watching
your
the
mic
first
out.
live?
Just trying to tell
My
you how
brother.
time zones work.
Thanks.
They're an hour behind us.
I've been thinking a lot. All right, so
It's
Just
okay.
haven't- just
it's
haven't been
okay.
thinking
You're allowed
right.
to fuck up the first time.
think.
all right. So welcome to everyone who's listening in the podcast side of things from iTunes or our audio or a later date on YouTube. This is the Rise of the Kingdom podcast. I'm Evan the DM, and I'm joined here by our group of adventurers.
I'm Tristan. I am playing Arrington, York, Evander, Yarnold, Lemieux, Tabaxi Wizard.
I'm Serena. I'm playing Priscilla.
Short, sweet, and to the point. I'm Kareem. I'm playing the dashing bard Zorlin Cauldra.
I'm TJ, and I am playing the high elf Peleus Holymion.
I'm Ryan, and I'm playing Arbiter Lazarus Rhodes.
Oh wait, I thought you were playing RoboCop.
Yeah, that's
Both.
Well, that's his. I just
I'm
called him
Mega
RoboCop
Man.
when I was making the
I
character.
think he's also like the
But he's
Judge
actually Mega
Dredd,
Man. He's
too.
really-
Or not? Yeah.
He's Judge
Well, he
Dredd
wants
and
to roast
Robocop.
people.
All right. So, to get things started, so we all kind of are aware that I have the map up here. So I'll
Yep.
just pop that up on the stream as well. So for the map, we're currently all kind of headed towards the Valley of Wild Magics for one reason or another for our adventurers. We're actually going to start off with TJ's character, and he's traveling with a band of some elves, and actually they're just meeting some dwarves. So you're heading up to this. You see this kind of valley. It's got some mountains on either side. Well, more of just kind of jagged coastal cliffs almost. You picture just kind of what you'd see at a coast, very similar to that. And you see kind of a group of dwarves, and you're kind of going with your ensemble of your elves. And you're greeted by this dwarf who yells out, "Oi! Took you a while."
Yes, we did have quite a long way to come. Thankfully enough, we're here now.
That's great. We've just been scoping out the area ahead. Yeah, the strangest thing that the wizard told us about. You can see over, and you look over and where he's gesturing to, and you see this giant, almost like a purplish bluish crystal, kind of coming out from the middle of this kind of valley. Oh. And it does appear magical in nature from just working with. As you're an artificer, you've worked with various gems, minerals, and metals and whatnot. Looks like nothing you've ever seen before, but it definitely looks like it could be magical.
Looks very interesting to me.
Yeah, you're definitely very appealed to it.
So what exactly was he saying? Something about the wizard?
Yeah, so he mentioned a human wizard. So if you actually, as you look out towards this valley, you do see you presume the wizard as a man kind of cloaks with a funky wizard hat, as you'd picture, kind of like a Gandalf hat.
Yeah.
And he's out there a fair bit. As you can see on the map, each of these squares here is 5 miles.
Okay.
So he's probably somewhere around out here. You guys are just kind of here.
Okay.
So
and
he's,
how close is the crystal in regard to where I am right now?
he'd be pretty close to it. So it's probably about 5 miles away from you.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more.
I am going to start making my way over there.
Yeah. And so the dwarves are all kind of follow you.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we're gonna cut to, I believe, either we could do Tristan's character or Kareem's. Who wants to go first there?
Ladies first.
How kind.
Got him.
All right.
Good job.
Fucking
All
right.
right.
All right.
So Kareem, your character would, for whatever reason he's wandering this pathway towards the Valley of Wild Magics.
Heard something was interesting.
You actually see, heading towards the center of this coast, you'd be kind of coming from behind, so you'd see this group of people who just met, and now they're heading into the thing. Do you wish to follow up towards them, or are you just gonna...
No, I'm definitely going to go and mingle.
Okay, so you'd head up towards them. At this point, Tristan, do you kind of want the same thing for your character because he'd be coming from the same direction?
Yeah.
So you may be just kind of farther behind Kareem. This is a well-traveled road, so there are typically people on it, so it's not too fishy to see others.
Yeah, no, that seems about right.
Yeah. Are you traveling with anyone? I can't remember.
I didn't say I was.
Okay.
I was traveling with somebody, but they kind of got sick of me a couple miles back.
Oh, wait.
So
That's fair. I can understand
so I'm continuing the rest of the way on my own, and they just headed back to another
Oh, wait.
This is a good sign.
spot.
Sounds good. So, yeah, you guys would all hurry up, and for the sake of brevity, I assume you guys both kind of join up with TJ and the elves and the dwarves, and they say, "Hi, who goes there?"
Sorry, was it Kareem first? Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
it's me first, yeah?
Yeah, ooh, I guess.
Okay, my apologies. I'll get better at paying attention.
It doesn't matter who goes first.
It is Arrington of the Lemieux family, and I demand to be let through right meow.
It's no problem, laddie.
Don't worry, that's the only time I'm making that joke.
This was a mistake.
No, it's not. That's the only time I'll make that joke.
No problem, laddie. We're just headed out to look at that crystal that's kind of come out of the ground there.
Ooh, mind if I join?
Why not? It could be dangerous, so...
Oh, excellent.
mean-
Do you want to carry my bags for me?
I,
I know, it's a great honor, but...
no.
I'm just a bit ahead. I'm like, what a prick.
You'll notice next to this dwarf, you'll notice another dwarf who seems to be wearing full plate armor. This dwarf also seems to have an ornate crown. You would also notice that one of the elves is also wearing, I think, half plate armor with a crown. And there's various guards and stuff amongst them with pretty decked out, almost royal-looking weapons and stuff.
At this point,
There would be the dwarf who's wearing the crown would look towards one of the other guys and say, "You could help him." And then so one of the kind of background guards comes up and helps you with your bags.
Oh, why, thank you. Kind
It's,
sir.
it's no problem. Sounds a little annoyed, but he seems also used to it.
I don't care.
all right. I'm going to walk up right to the dwarf and the elf with the crown. I'm going to do rather a deep bow and say, "Zorlin Cauldra, wandering bard, at your service. What seems to be all the hubbub?"
Yeah, well, like I told our friend here who just joined us, we're headed over to the crystal. Some weird stuff's happening. We've got some wizard man who's going to help us figure out what's going on. Yeah.
It's good to know. Fortunately, you've now got an expert of magic on your hands.
The more the merrier. I know more about rocks and breaking things than magic, but
A useful skill, my friend, and I'm going to walk on.
yeah. So we all, I guess, assume just kind of head towards this. The dwarves and you'll notice the royal elf and the royal dwarf seem to be talking quite a bit. They seem to have known each other from whether it's just being nobles. Amongst this group, you'll notice closely following the royal dwarf, you'll notice a Dwerogar, who looks like the baddest ass motherfucker you will ever meet. But he's also wearing sunglasses, and he's kind of pretty covered up.
What? Covered up in what?
Just kind of like a robe.
This is the
So he's
wizard?
just like a bathrobe and sunglasses.
So is this the
But
wizard?
you can
the
see
wizard
you could
is a
see there's
human.
Okay,
there's
okay.
plate armor and stuff kind of coming through the
Does
robe.
he have a pair of sunglasses and then an extra pair on his head?
No. No, and he's just kind of
Yeah.
following closely behind. The guy who's been talking to you is just kind of a stout, typical dwarf. He looks pretty friendly.
Did he say what his name was?
No, he didn't. No one asked him.
I didn't care.
Okay.
Wow, guys.
assholes?
I mean, I'm kind of with my party of elves. I'm assuming
You-
I would know all of their names.
Yeah, you'd have a good idea of who these are from your past. You would know this guy to be. What's that? I've got too many names here. The Princess Thorin Ironhammer, you know him. The Dwerogar is Rungrim. He's known as one of the fiercest dwarf fighters in the world. At least the peninsula, because we don't know
Yeah.
much beyond that. And this guy's just. I think I don't have a name for him. I'll roll.
What was the first name?
Sounds
Sorry.
like fair to me.
Sorry for the king.
Yeah.
He's Thorin. Thorin Ironhammer.
All right.
And
I'm assuming that's
the,
the dwarf king?
yeah, yeah,
Prince.
or he's a prince.
Prince?
And the
Yeah.
elf's prince name was what?
Didn't say that. His is Emerald Torian.
Okay.
Torellian. There we go. Torellian.
It's a name.
Sorry, I named these guys and I can't pronounce them.
It's all good.
All right.
Sounds like my first child.
No, you're not
Yeah.
good.
So the name of the dwarf who's been talking to you is Degen.
The
Sorry,
gem?
it's a
Is he
what?
a
Yeah.
degenerate?
Is he good friends with Ellen?
So you'll meet up with the you're heading towards the human wizard who's about 5 miles out. As he sees you all guys coming closer, he shouts out, "Stop! Come no further!" And the Dwerogar is just like pulls out a sword.
I'm gonna stop.
I'm just gonna.
So
stop.
you guys all stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the entire party stops, and then he kind of, almost like as if he's looking for landmines, kind of walks towards you guys, and he's like, "I think there's something below us."
Soil, I assume.
No. But that's like, that crystal I think is bigger is part of like a big structure.
Hmm.
Oh, are you magical?
Well, some would say that, yes.
Okay. Perhaps you can help me out with this. I may need a little bit of help. I haven't done anything this big since the humans came to Kael Mundus.
Of course, I am at your service.
All right. We may want to back up a couple miles. Sorry, I would have saved you guys the walks, Your Highnesses. He looks like Gandalf.
Okay. Okay. This is the wizard? Or?
Yeah,
And
but you
what
will
race is
notice
he?
he's human.
Human.
You'll notice that he's got white beard, like as if he was really old,
Really?
but he doesn't look old.
Oh.
His skin is very fair. He looks like maybe he's 23.
So, like, the white beard is a fashion statement?
Curious, I'm
Maybe.
going to ask him, any beard growing tips, my friend?
Well, that's a long story. I
As
can
long as the beard?
longer, my friend. As we walk back, perhaps I'll share it with you. Well, you see, have you heard the tale of why the humans came to Kael Mundus?
Given my nature, I have a fairly good idea, yes.
Yes, I guess that's true. Well, it's for those of you who may not know, he looks more towards you, the tabaxi, just knowing that
I'll go scoff at him. I'll go, keep going.
yeah, so he just kind of goes off to say that, well, our old kingdom was destroyed by dragonkind. Various large dragons swooped over our keeps and cities and well, kind of melted them. I was the court wizard before, got kind of discharged from that because dragons destroyed everything. King wasn't too happy. Well, I mean, he's dead, but...
Well,
Anyways, that's the beard and the hair are signs of my overuse of magical ability. I
that can happen.
tend to push myself.
Well, as a dragonborn, I very much know of the happenings and the blame some of the humans give, but that's all in the past, right?
Well, I haven't been home for a long time. I've been wandering. I've actually been with the dwarves for the past couple of years. But yeah, I totally agree that is just very dumb thought. Dragonborn and dragons are completely different.
Of course,
I mean,
don't even have a tail.
Yeah, if you were to study it, you would figure it out. I guess the dwarf's just kind of nodding. Humans.
Bloody humans.
As you would know as an elf, you guys kind of find humans kind of weird because they're a newer race around here,
short-lived,
but
it's weird.
yeah, they're short-lived. They don't really have this concept of, elves have dealt with the dwarves for years, and gnomes and halflings and all sorts of people, but humans seem very reserved, and they've never really gotten along with people. You would know from learning from the wizard that humans, from where they came from, there was only humans. So you guys would just think they're very weird and because this world's pretty liberal. Everyone's kind of open to learning, but humans seem very reserved in that regard, and they're very conservative in mindset, it would seem.
Okay.
So the wizard brings you back about 4 miles back, so pretty close to where you guys started.
Yeah.
And then he starts chanting, and he just kind of looks to you and just says, if you'll give me your hand.
But of course.
So he takes your hand and he starts chanting. You feel magic kind of flow through you, and he kind of just kind of mid incantation turns to, if anyone else does magic too, that would be a great help.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to step forward.
Right. So he would kind of give out his other hand to you,
So I'd take it. Peleus will be on at your service.
and then you start to feel more and
Lovely
more
name, sir.
kind of magic flowing through you. The Prince of the Elves, you'll notice, kind of steps up and puts a hand on your back.
I could also step up and give a hand here to my dragon bard friend.
What's your name, good sir?
Why, I am Arrington York Evander Yarnold of the Lumiao family.
Pleased to meet you, Ari.
I wish I could say the same.
We're going to be great.
So all of you would feel this magic you've never felt kind of before coursing through your body, and then the world begins to shake.
The world?
The world begins to shake.
That's not
Almost. It's it's an earthquake, but to a lot of you, you never would have felt one before at all. So
What's going on?
This is pretty worrying. The elf prince looks pretty calm. He knows this wizard. He trusts him.
All right. Well, if he looks calm, then I'm gonna calm down a bit
Yeah.
too.
But
Pulling
it's
onto my hat.
it's definitely very, very, very worrying. Although you've heard tales, all of the Valley of Wild Magics, as it's a place where weird stuff tends to happen. There's a lot of magical anomalies that happens here. Sorry.
Why they call it the Valley of the Wild.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually aptly named after the wizards that have the wild magic.
Really?
Yeah. Inspiration. So, as you kind of wait, the ground kind of shakes more violently and violently. You'll notice towards the center, that crystal gets getting larger, slowly getting larger, and then it exponentially is getting larger and faster. When a tower starts to emerge, stone, starts to emerge, and then as that tower goes up, it's going up almost the height of the cliffs. These cliffs are pretty high. I'd say they're probably 400, 500 meter tall, like cliffs. So this is a pretty steep down valley. So this tower almost rises above those. It's probably 700, 800 meters tall.
Wow.
And then you'll start noticing around the ground, buildings are arising. So this map here is kind of a little layout of these kind of ruins that are jagging out of the ground all around this tower. So, for the sake of here, this here is in the tower, there's this kind of round tower that goes up. That's the one that's about 800 meters tall. Small, square, and rectangular kind of buildings. They're in pretty rough shape, erect kind of around it in almost what would be a city. A lot of these buildings are ruined. There's cause of what would look like maybe explosive damage, whether it was magical in nature or not, hard to say from this distance. They're crumpled. All these buildings are made of some sort of magical looking stone. It's a different stone from the coast, or from the cliffs. It looks not native to this area. And then the shaking stops when all these buildings are up and up to the top of the ground. And the wizard kind of collapses. You all feel pretty drained. But as the wizard lets go, you kind of start to, get your bearings about you. You feel normal now. The wizard gets up and kind of brushes off his robes and goes, "Whew, never done that before."
I see what you mean by pushing yourself. Take it easy, good man.
Well, someone's got to raise cities, I guess.
Do they?
Well, I guess I've never seen a kingdom rise like that.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
How exactly did you do that, my friend?
Well, I was just kind of doing almost like a dispel magic, but I put a little twist on it, I think.
Huh.
So it seems to be kind of sunk in there through magical means. And it
Uh,
seems that whatever magical was put in place was slowly kind of loosening as it was. So, I mean, if it wasn't loosening, I wouldn't have been able to do that at all.
Still, that's
I-
quite impressive.
I don't think 100 wizards could have done that.
Do you know what these buildings used to be?
I have no clue. I've never seen any kind of architecture like this.
Well, let's go exploring.
He turns to the dwarf first and just kind of says, "You, my good man, have you ever seen anything like this?" This is the prince. And the prince says, "Nothing quite like it. The throne room in our fortress of Dwaromir, it's made of the same stone, and we have no clue where that stone came from. It's not native to the mountains, but no, it's ancient for sure. It's older than the dwarves. The throne room was there before us."
Oh, wow. Your Grace.
So he looks
Thorn.
kind of concerned.
Your Grace Thorn, do I have your permission to explore the ruins on
I
my own
mean,
accord?
it may be dangerous.
You didn't answer my question.
I think all of us can handle ourselves pretty well. You look like a capable sort.
Thank you.
I mean,
Doesn't return the phone.
does anyone have anywhere they want to look specifically?
Inside.
Well, what
I believe we should take a very systematic approach if we are to go looking at the ruins here.
I say we
The
go
elf-
for the
Does your
tower.
character
It's
have
the
a beard?
biggest.
the elf prince kind of chips in and he kind of looks at you and says, "I kind of agree with you there.
Oh, well then, yes, let's go
It
to the
actually
tower.
looks
To the
it
tower.
actually looks the most structurally sound out of all of them. I mean, a lot of the small buildings looks like they could collapse at any moment."
Yes, you're completely
And you'll
right, my
notice
prince,
that a
yes.
lot of the smaller buildings look pretty rugged. They don't look super sound, and I mean they just came out of the ground,
Well,
and a
this
lot of them
seems
have
safe.
damage. But yeah, everyone's kind of started heading towards the tower. I mean, if some of you want to kind of explore on your own, you're free to do that.
As I'm
Nope,
heading,
I'm going for the
you're
tower first.
you're heading
to
from
the
this
tower.
direction over here.
As I'm heading to
Yeah.
the tower, I'm just going to quickly look at Peleus and Arrington and just quickly say, by the way, don't know if I introduced myself, but Zorlin Cauldra, Bard, at your service.
Peleus Holyman, I make magic things.
Oh, sexy.
Very nice. I'm Arrington Lemieux.
I already
Here,
caught that. Thank you.
I was introducing myself to our new companion. Thank you very much.
course. Yes, hello.
I'm of the Meow family, as I'm sure you've heard of.
Yes, quite.
Nope.
As I'm sure us civilized people have heard of.
So pompous.
Is the Meow family very
Do you know
prominent,
them?
or
It's,
You would have heard of
Old
them.
it's a little bit like farther away from this area, and it probably wouldn't be
Actually,
as much in your interest. It is a textiles business,
okay?
so it makes a lot of clothing. It makes some different like weaving patterns, for instance.
you would have
um,
probably heard of them.
Yeah,
Just
Alright, yes,
just
I've-
in passing, but
yeah. I've heard some of your family. I hear that they're quite prominent where they're from.
I'm just going to look at Peleus and say, I feel like we're going to be good friends as we go into this dangerous unknown territory. Not look at Arrington and walk on.
the human wizard at this time kind of pipes up and kind of joins in, and he's like, "Thanks for your help. I'm Merlin Laketon."
Interesting.
Merlin Laketon.
No problem, Merlin.
You seem to have it covered, honestly.
Ah, he's eating bread. He looks pretty tired. He's got bags under his eyes now.
Maybe you should rest out here.
I'm sure
And,
someone will
and
set
lose a
up the
chance
net.
to visit something I just raise it to the ground? You gotta be kidding me. He just shoves more bread in his face.
I can't argue with that logic.
Has his beard gotten? I know he said that his beard is from like overexerting his magic. Is it maybe like longer at all from when we first met him?
You know, it might be. Whether it's super noticeable or not, you could roll
Roll
a
perception.
You could roll a
I'm
perception
gonna do
check.
that. First roll of the night, guessing beard length.
That's a nat 1, so
That's,
no.
No, you
that's,
can't. You
that's
don't know.
He has a
13.
beard.
That's
a-
on 13.
That's an 18.
You. Oh, an 18?
Yeah.
Okay, you would know it's grown at least 4 inches minimum.
Damn.
You may
That's a
think
long-ass
that it's
beard.
like it's a bit longer. You're not sure how long exactly, or it could have been like that. You don't know. It's pretty long and luscious, and he's kind of wobbling wobbling around, walking. He's got a bit of a strut to him.
Does he do the thing like that guy from Kill Bill where he's like, where he like flips his beard?
Back
Yeah, well,
Sure.
he
It's like
is
a
he is
scarf.
playing with his beard and trying to get it out of the way. You can tell he's not super used to it, despite having had it for, you assume, a decent amount of time. The humans have been around for about like 50 years.
Merlin, my man, is there any reason you seem to be having some troubles with your beard there? Is there any reason why you don't just cut it?
Well, you see, he pulls out a dagger and just chops it off, and it just grows back instantly.
Oh, goodness, that's
No, I need to learn the spell for that.
that seems quite.
It's kind of an issue.
Yes.
I don't see how. Must get all the ladies.
I'm not that old.
It's fine. Do you know how many ladies love a beard? I mean, come on.
Speaking of which, we will have to talk business later. I'm not sure if you're interested in the wig making business, but I am very interested in you in becoming
So
partners. I would pay you very justly.
Do you
For
know
your
people that like
services.
white hair?
I could find people who like white hair.
We can make.
I mean,
We
if it
can
makes me
dye
an
it. We
if it
can dye
makes
it
me
to any color we want.
I think we're forgetting the magical town that just appeared.
We're
Well,
kind of like on
I
our
think
way
you're
there.
very
you're on your
It's
way
about
there.
business,
It
man.
it was like
oh, I haven't forgotten. You've made it clear.
it was
several
4
times.
miles away. So
Yeah, so like we're still
you'd
on
be
the
kind
way.
of arriving now. So you guys would be arriving. I'll say. Just a sec here. So you guys would be arriving. Just to kind of from this direction here, I'll make a make that kind of readable.
See if we can get a profitable wig making.
There we go.
business.
So these buildings are pretty large.
Oh wow.
Well, this building here, I think, is like it's huge.
Yeah.
It goes up. So it has to be structurally sound. It goes up about 800 meters. So
Years?
meters, yeah.
Oh, I think you said years. I'm like, wow, that's a long way.
800 light years.
Yeah, that's how I measure my heights is in years.
You should measure in snail years, like
Snail
how long
years.
it takes a snail to crawl up there.
So as you guys kind of come out in here, you
That's a
see
viable system.
you're kind of greeted by this courtyard, and you actually do see some figures. And these figures are different. You've never seen anything quite like them. You see one of them's kind of clad in frozen ice. It looks like some sort of magic from firsthand.
Do they seem to be alive?
Yeah, well, you can kind of go up and inspect them, but I'm just gonna quickly describe a little
Okay.
bit more first. So you'll notice there's about 3 of them. One's actually cut in half, and then the other one's just kind of stuck there, and it looks like it's just kind of chilling.
Do I know, like, are they humanoid figures? Are they...
They're somewhat humanoid.
Okay.
They don't appear to be made out of flesh.
Just from where I'm at, can I try to figure out what they are? Or...
Yeah, you could roll a perception check to see if
I
if
would
you know
also
it.
like to try that.
Yeah, sure thing. Anyone
I'm
who's
quite
there?
curious.
Actually, I'll
That's
roll.
not great.
I'll roll a perception for my.
That's going to be an 18 for me.
That's an
So
11,
4.
rolling strong already.
I don't see shit.
Mr. Bard Skill Monkey over here, and I got an 11.
1 second. I'm gonna pull up my character sheet for the dwarf.
All right.
God, phone off. Oops.
I don't see anything.
I wasn't looking. Do it again.
Oh, I'd almost forgotten. Where's my pack? Where's my Pac-Man?
Your Pac-Man.
Where's my Pac-Man?
Okay. So the dwarf got a 19. So who had an 18?
I did.
Hey, what were your rolls?
I got a 4.
4.
11.
Okay. So you two
Oh.
would know that this appears to be a being made of metal. It's humanoid in size.
Oh, it's interesting.
You'd also notice that with the 1918, this appears to be metal you've never seen. It almost looks like it's been tempered with magic for sure.
And is this one that we're looking at now? Is this the one that's in the ice? The one that's in half? Or the
All
one that's just not
of
moving?
them look to be made of the same thing.
Okay.
Um,
Do any of them appear to be moving at all, or are they all?
the one on the ice doesn't seem to be moving at all. The one that's broken is kind of like almost some sort of magical sparking kind of happening from the cut,
Okay.
which soon dies down. And then the other one is just chilling there.
Well, I mean, they seem interesting to me. I'm going to go
Yeah.
over them and start inspecting them.
Yeah, the prince is all like the dwarven prince is very interested.
Yeah.
The elven prince is kind of not too sure about it.
Well, I
Yeah,
kinda
everyone-
turned to him. I was like,
the-
"I'll go investigate, my prince."
Yeah, the Dwargar pulls out his battle axe because he sees like the ice and the cut in half, and he assumes something was fighting because the buildings are all damaged. So he kind of goes ahead with you as well.
But does it look like recent damage, or it
It
came out
looks
looking like that?
the
right?
ice is melting.
I'm
Oh.
going to...
Yeah.
Oh
It's-
well,
it-
I'm going in very cautiously.
It's
then. Never mind.
it's starting to melt now.
Also, cautiously, I'm going to follow along with Peleus and cautiously take out my fiddle.
I'm gonna take out my thunder. I'm
Oh,
taking out my
so
thunder
freaking
cannon, and
good.
I'm holding it kind of like pointed towards the ground, but at the ready.
Okay.
I've seen that before.
So you
So
guys
I made
are
it.
probably headed. So he's the one that's chilling's more toward the middle. Are you heading towards the one that's chilling, the one that's frozen in ice, or the one that's cut in half?
The
Which
one that's
one's-
frozen in the ice and the one in the chilling, aren't they
Shut
the
up.
same one?
Shut up.
Which one's closer?
The one in the ice would be closer.
Okay, that's what I'm going
I'm
towards
going
first.
with that. I'm going with Peleus.
Go for it.
Okay.
He's a crab.
At this moment, towards whenever you start heading towards the frozen one, the one that's chilling springs to life and kind of turns to look at you guys, and this is.
It's me, guys.
Oh, nice.
Do you want to say anything?
I take out my quarterstaff and
Because you would kind of wake up and look and see your comrades, one sliced in half and one frozen in ice.
yeah.
Well, I'm.
I
as
thought
soon
I
as
was the one frozen in the ice.
No, you're just
Okay.
chilling.
So I take out my long sword and shield then, and I spin to them and I say, "You will halt or you will die."
I will halt then.
I'm stopping and I'm like raising up my thunder cannon, just because like, what the hell's going on?
You seem cranky for just waking up. Can I play you a song?
The Dwargar is just like, what the bloody hell is this?
Is that a yes or a no?
The elven prince kind of rushes forward and says like, ho there,
Silence!
you're addressing royalty.
Why are you here?
Well, if you'll notice, there's kind of a magical town that appeared out of the ground. Quite interesting, actually.
You would
If you'll
not
look around.
You would not know what they're
he was
talking
inside
about.
of
Last
the
thing you
magical
know,
town?
you were in combat. You can't really remember what with. You're like
Where?
rise from the ground would be. You'd have no clue what it's talking
Yeah.
about.
Were you not just combating us?
Nope.
I could have sworn it.
No,
Nope,
we
just came here.
we just got here. It's
The wizard guy kind of pipes up. Oh yeah, I raised this place out of the ground. It was underground.
He did. His
I
beard got
don't
longer.
know what you're talking about.
I can attest to that. He did right.
We
it
all
was risen
helped.
out of the ground.
It was a group
He
effort.
kind of
We
hops
held
up
hands.
and he's gonna do some detect magic on the ice. If this provokes you, you can for sure kind of because he's going towards your frozen comrade.
Yeah, I'm gonna step in the way, and just like
Yeah.
you will back up.
So, my good man, have you ever heard fiddle music? You seem like you're a music lover.
If you touch that instrument, I will destroy it.
Okay. Loud and clear.
I just wanna help defrost or find out what happened to your friend here with the ice.
I will lower my sword a little bit, but I've
Mhm.
still got it like firmly, so I can make a move if I
thought
have
you had
to.
the quarterstaff.
No, I sword and shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just kind of puts his hands up against the ice and kind of like takes his hands off. His hands kind of turned a little blue. He's like, "Whew, that's definitely magical."
What gave that away?
And he's kind of confused, and he turns to you and he's, "What do you remember?
I was in combat.
Do you know who you were fighting? Were they mages,
Invaders.
practitioners of magic?"
They were invaders.
Invaders.
Invaders of what? What were
We
they
haven't
invading?
had a war since the humans came
The
here.
town.
Okay, the town of what, good sir?
Is he a town? Do I know what the name of the town is?
I have the name of the town somewhere.
Sorry.
Just lots of roundabout talking.
And
here.
just a
Yeah.
question for you, like, what does your guy look like? Like, how tall is he?
Dude,
Should
I'm
I
like
be-
7 foot tall, 400 pounds, made of metal.
I'm a little intimidated.
You know,
Yeah,
my
like
thunder
he's a-
cannon's trained on you.
Like,
He's a so this you would know this as Tempelt.
Tempeld?
Yeah, but that would mean nothing to these people.
never heard of
The
it.
town and kingdom of Tempeld.
Oh, that explains everything.
Could you not
Sarcasm,
be
my good man.
sarcastic with
Is there any
the
kind of,
400-pound
year
automaton
keeping
wielding
Hey,
a
he
sword?
seems like an intelligent sword. Sorry, what?
Is there any kind of year-keeping system?
I wish I
like-
could say the same
Oh
about
yeah.
you.
I wish I could
You,
say
you
the
don't
same
seem like the
Sorry to
surface
just kind of
shore.
spring this on
Oh,
you.
that's fine. Yeah, sure. There is. This would be year, like
Roll for it.
Yeah, roll your
year,
D100.
year 57 since the humans' arrival.
Okay, so like SH.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's now year 57 SH. What
That would mean nothing to
do
you.
you, do you know what that means?
What are you talking about?
My good man, have you ever heard of the traveling bard troupe, Trouble in Troubadour Town? We were very famous, I'll have you
If
know.
he doesn't know the year, why would he know
We're
about
very
you?
well
you
known.
I
will
don't
watch
even
your
know about
tone
you.
while addressing an arbiter.
That's a good point. I'll watch
I'm-
my tone.
An
An
arbiter?
What's an
arbiter.
arbiter?
I don't know, but it sounds scary.
I enforce the laws and regulations of this kingdom.
So you're like a policeman.
Question: which kingdom?
Tempelt.
Tempeld.
Right.
This kingdom that you are standing foot in. Do you have permission from your regent to be here?
What's a regent?
This clearly seems to be really ancient.
I would agree with that.
Perhaps we can find answers as to what happened here. In the where would the town hall be? Where would your leaders of this city be? You would know they'd probably be in the tower. That's
Oh,
where all the smart
It
people
would
would
be
be.
the tower. The tower is the center of advancement.
We were heading to the tower anyway.
So-
Wanna join us?
I mean, you want answers. That's where you'd go, probably.
Before you enter the tower, you must know
Mm-hmm.
this is a sacred place.
Of course.
You must very well control yourselves.
I have the best self-control.
The elven prince kind of chips up. Myself, and he points towards the dwarven prince and says, "We are both people of nobility from where we come. We simply do not mean you any harm. If there has been action against you, we will help you. We will support you in fighting whoever attacked you."
Do I know what race these guys all are? Like, do I know what these races are?
The elves would look familiar.
I'm familiar with the idea of elves.
Are you
Yeah.
freaked out by the talking copper dragon? That's humanoid.
No,
No, not
he's
particular.
not. He's not really like he's not used to being intimidated.
No, but
Yeah.
like, does he never seen one before? Is what I mean.
I haven't seen any of you before.
Yeah,
I've only
but-
seen the elves.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, would that phase you?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll
I guess
continue to the tower.
Sounds good. You lead.
You are under my control as the time that you are in this kingdom.
All of us, or just me?
All of you.
Oh, okay. Then.
And you will put your weapons away as of now.
Of course. I don't have any weapons out. Just my
let's follow the man's lead. The wizard tries to put away his staff. He doesn't really know where to put it, so he just throws it on the ground.
So I kind of start walking toward the tower, I guess.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
slowly sling my thunder cannon over my.
Everyone kind of puts their weapons
I'm
away.
just
The,
gonna keep holding my.
the dwarf guard looks really like not impressed with putting his weapon away, but the dwarf prince is like, "Oi, just pull it away. You can take it out fast. Just pull it away."
So yeah, I continue to the tower.
All right, so you guys head towards the tower. You'll kind of notice, especially, that everything seems more destroyed than you can remember. You only really remember a brief fighting, and then you kind of remember a flash of being hit by some sort of magic, and then this. You look around; things are more destroyed than you can remember. You see more kind of similar to you, kind of damaged or broken or completely destroyed. They're not operable.
It's like broken units.
Yeah, kind of sitting around.
My
And then
other
you-
enforcement units seem to be disabled.
Good sir, did we ever get your name?
You said he was the arbiter.
I am Arbiter Lazarus Rhodes, Unit 45B.
Well, that makes so much more sense. Thank you. Zorlin Caldra, at your service.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, so
Clearly not made of metal.
Jesus, guys, the sass already. All right, so you guys head into this tower. So we'll swap out the map.
Some sassy players.
It's true. Ooh.
So you guys kind of head in, and you kind of the entryway here is right here. So you'd come in. This would be the first room you're greeted in. So as soon as you walk in, you'll notice right next to you the two kind of yellow bricks are similar to Arbiter Rows. They're large automatons, but they're not activated.
Can I like go up to it and try to figure out if there's like a problem with the unit?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
That would probably be either Arcana or Investigation, whatever you're better at.
investigation.
Okay.
Could I go up to the other one and kind of do the same thing, just see what it is, and just kind
Yeah.
of
You know by looking at it just from being an artificer, you know it's the same thing but bigger.
That's
Yeah,
a
so-
19.
19. There seems to be something wrong with them from a magical point of view. If you want to roll Arcana to do a further, what exactly? It seems to be tampering what causes them to turn on.
It's a 15.
15. Something in this tower has stopped them from being able to activate. If you investigate more further, you may be able to find something that's like stopping them, or maybe it's just broken. You're unsure on that.
There could be a magical source that's preventing my units from operating.
your units.
I am the commander of this watch.
Oh, that's impressive.
So this whole like entrance area, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty decrepit, right?
Well, this first room doesn't look too bad.
Okay.
It looks a little ramshackle. There's like maybe a tile kind of out of the ground.
Okay.
There's been fighting. You can tell that just from the.
Could I check for
See?
traps? Because I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, if you want to, definitely.
Would that be investigation or?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I don't find shit.
What'd you roll?
4.
That's fine. So,
Rolling really good.
are you gonna lead them forward, or because they all kind of?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
lead them forward.
Right. So there's another door right here. So you'd open that door.
I'm just looking around, going, "There's no traps,
And then-
guys."
I point toward Peleus, but I don't know your name yet because
Yeah.
it's something brought
I
up.
didn't know
And I
your
go, you with pointy ears, come with me.
Where are we going?
You will lead with me.
Aren't there a lot of people with pointy
The
ears?
prince.
I'm
The
gonna
prince
look
kind.
at the prince.
Yeah. The prince kind of gives you a nod.
All right.
He's kind of got his bow ready, so like he can. You know he can draw really fast.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll go with you.
So I continue into
Yeah.
the passageway.
So you walk into here.
We'll just wait.
Yeah.
here.
So into here, you're greeted by a familiar sight.
Let's go.
But you see kind of there's a pillars kind of leading to this big open room. It's dark in there. Does anyone have dark vision here?
I do.
60 feet.
60 feet?
I do as well.
60
I
feet?
think
Yeah.
Dragonborn would have, but they don't.
No, I think you may receive
You'd
the
know
dark
what's in here
vision,
anyway.
Yeah, I
honestly.
would, I guess, yeah.
Dragons.
you're concerned that the lights aren't on. This is usually
Yeah.
an illuminated. 60 feet ahead, so
That's fair.
I don't like dark vision.
It's still, it would be dark. You can kind of make the outlines of maybe some sort of humanoid statue thing. You'd know that if there were people in here, the lights would be on, and you'd hear people talking about magic stuff. There'd be commotion. It's a busy place.
The scholars are gone.
Yeah. So this is very disconcerting to you.
I have a candle.
What do you mean by the scholars are gone?
This is a place of study.
Yeah.
Seems quite appealing, actually.
So you'll notice there's two doors as soon as you come in to your left and right, and then there's also kind of this out here. So this is about where you're seeing up to with dark vision. So that's about 60 feet away.
Yep.
You do hear some sort of small, like, jibber jabber kind of noises and stuff coming from further up. How would you like to proceed?
Well, first I'd like to kind of like take just a moment to try to figure out what jibber jabber noises I'm hearing.
It's hard to make out. It's not a sound you've ever heard before.
Okay.
It sounds almost like it's guttural. It's coming from a mouth, but you can't really tell. You hear.
I can hear this, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
okay. You would know that you don't like this.
Travelers.
You'd recognize that as abyssal.
Are we still behind them? Or?
I assume they went.
No
to
one should be able to
separate
speak abyssal except for him.
Travelers. I recommend you draw your weapons.
I immediately pull out.
The
my
Dwarf
cannon.
guy's already got like 2 axes in his hands, just like,
Let's go.
I draw my rapier.
and he kind of puts his sunglasses up too.
I'm gonna back away a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also gonna keep to the back of the room.
Then I'm gonna lead up.
You'll notice that Merlin casts cantrip of light
Okay.
or dancing lights.
Dancing lights. Okay,
Yes.
even better.
So you see, he kind of floats that forward, and you'll see kind of as that goes forward, you'll see 3 little kind of red eyes kind of peer out towards you, and now they're kind of illuminated, and you would hear one of them say, "Get that light out."
That's not what I was expecting.
So
You wouldn't have understood it.
No, but
Okay, yeah.
So,
The
like,
squeaky
can we
voice is
see
not
where
what I
that
was
lights come, where that noise is coming from now, though?
Yeah, you see it, and you see ahead of you 3 figures. You see one almost looks kind of like a little buggish kind of creature, and then 2 kind of like they're almost like pounds of flesh in a humanoid form.
Do I have any idea what those might be?
You're not really sure. You've heard tales of fiendish creatures before. As best you could guess, those look like fiends.
and I know what these are, right?
You'd know they're definitely fiends. You know they're speaking abyssal, so you know they're demons.
Yeah, no, we're aiming the thunder cannon at them
I
then.
speak
Not doing
abyssal.
anything yet. But
Are you gonna attack them or?
I'm going to say, so they're demons, right? Or,
Yeah, and then Merlin's just kind of like, "What in God's name?" And then all the dwarves are just kind of like making shocked noises as like, "What the?"
I'm gonna give like a demons. You will leave this place, or I will have your heads. And I'm gonna roll and intimidate along with that.
Okay.
So 13.
They kind of like shrivel back because they know what you are, and they're like, they throw a rock at the statue. You know, the statue would be one of the like kind of leaders of the kingdom.
I'm
So
gonna
this would be
fucking kill
an
him.
offense.
I'm gonna fucking kill
Because
him.
this is vandalism, like, and that's someone who you look up to as like an enforcement of law because he's the people who make the laws.
And then I'm gonna say, according to the codes of the kingdom, you have committed the crime of vandalism and hearsay to the king. Your punishment is death.
Guys,
Punishment for vandalism.
guys,
And
should we
here's
hold
to
him
the
back?
king.
Should we hold him back?
No, this is great.
I'm not getting in the way of that. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys don't know how capable he is either, but he's a huge.
I'm also
yeah.
speaking abyssal, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
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 No, I
well
know
then,
he
never
sounds
mind.
threatening, and I'm just like, this is great.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what he's saying. For all I know, he could be just going over there to talk. We're not doing anything yet.
So the 3 guys are gonna scatter further into the room. Do you proceed to follow them?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys can all head forward, and then you'll see more kind of statues. So you'll see this here was the statue they were at on the map, and then you'll see another statue kind of they're on a square formation from the center, and you'll see There's another statue here, and this one kind of looks like this one has wings. The one that they were just clattering from was just kind of in a cloak with like a scythe weapon in his hands. This guy over here, I believe, has... where's my notes? That's what happens when you invent your own deities. This one would have a greatsword. He's kind of got a greatsword down, and he's got wings, and he's in a hood. And then they start clattering. They kind of start hitting on that one.
Archer. There's like a guy with a bow in the...
Yeah, that's the prince.
Yeah. Archer. I command you to take him.
What are these creatures?
I said take him.
I'm a king. You do not command me.
You
I'm
are
a
a
prince.
crowned nobody who takes a step in my kingdom. You will obey my order or you will die.
Some of the elves all kind of like look at you very menacing. So then the three creatures kind of snicker and then head to the next statue.
Yeah, no, we're
So
leveling
now-
the thunder cannon.
Lower
at you
your
now.
weapon.
So
Don't
now they
speak to my
start
prince like
smashing
that.
a thing. And then actually, do you guys want to roll a perception check?
All of us? Sure.
Yeah, everyone in the room.
Hey, that's a good one.
11.
That's a non-natural 20.
16.
All right, you would see
It's a
a
15.
cloaked figure in the other corner of the room who just kind of seemed to have appeared there. And this person is Serena's character. And your character is furious seeing these three.
What does this character look like?
These three little minion demons. She's cloaked, I assumed, right now in a big cloak, and kind of further in the corner. I mean, what did you roll, Kareem?
I got an 11.
Yeah, no, you.
15.
Yeah, you two definitely noticed her. Tristan, what'd you roll?
I noticed this. I rolled a 16.
Yeah, you noticed as well.
Yeah, I noticed it.
Yeah, what's
Alright.
going on?
So you all see this kind of, and you're like, didn't see that before, so that's kind of perplexing. But your character is enraged seeing three little demons smacking on the statue of your lord, as if they're trying to break it. And these are also
What's
creatures.
the name of the Lord again?
You don't know this.
You would
You don't
know.
know
I know this. What's the name of the Lord? What are
Uh,
the names of all these deities?
you would know
All
that
of them.
the first one was Nox. The second one that they kind of hit on after that was Deus, and then the
Which
third
one was mine?
yours is Diabolus,
And what's the other one?
and
He sounds nice.
the other one's Malum.
Fucking Diabolus. Wow.
I think that guy will be a pretty cool god.
I'm gonna look at Serena's character, and be like, trespasser, what is your business?
Well, you may not be
I thought you were
preoccupied
still
by that.
pissed at
This
the
is really
demons.
enraging you.
Oh. Wait, so like I wouldn't even be paying attention to him?
No, like this is like you can't even fathom someone doing what those three little minions are trying to do, which is deface a statue of your lord.
I guess I would completely ignore him and go to attack them then.
All right, roll initiative.
We all do this?
I mean, if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm attacking those little.
I
little
sentence this guy
guys.
to death.
Woo!
Okay, well I rolled an 8.
18.
I rolled
Well,
a
you
17.
can you can technically get a
Surprise.
I get a
surprise
surprise
round.
round, yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
17.
What'd you get?
What's your
12.
initiative, Ryan? I also got 17.
Minus 1.
Okay, I have a +3.
Initiative follows Dex, right?
It's up to whoever the DM is. I do it where the higher dex bonus gets to go first. Some people do the
If you
higher
roll a
all
nat
the-
20, you go first.
But
But besides
they
that,
both
yeah.
they both got the same overall number. He's got a +3 to dex. He's got a -1 to dex. How do you want to do
He'd
this?
go first.
Okay.
Just because, yeah. But
There you go.
Are they like all the little demons are standing right next to each other, right?
well, they're all kind of around the statue. So if you were doing area effect, that's 5 feet. You'd probably hit them all. So like
What
they're
about
relative.
15-foot cone?
Yeah, you'd hit them all.
Can I hit them without hitting the statue, or are they still next to the Diabolus statue?
Well,
they're
they're
like
still
at the
defacing it.
statue trying to crawl up it and hit it. So depending on what you're using, you may break the statue.
If I'm using burning hands, can I hit them without hitting the statue? Like, can I move myself to a position where I'm hitting them but not hitting the statue?
Yeah, I guess so. Like it's also made of stone, so fire wouldn't
Well,
really
yeah, I
damage
guess.
it that
well,
bad
it's
unless
an old statue though, so I'm like worried about it.
Plus that
You're
might
not
be a
worried.
disrespect.
I'm
You-
not worried.
yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna do that. So they're gonna need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I just don't know who to point my rifle at now.
I'm attacking the demons. I don't know about you. They're demons.
But I mean, like,
Yeah, they need to make a dex save
You're in
of
a foreign
13.
kingdom with a group
Dex
with
of
a
15.
giant scary robot that's
13.
unfamiliar
13?
with your
Okay.
culture.
It's
now it's pointed at you.
So the more bug-like one saves. That one definitely fails,
What spell did you cast?
and that one fails. Okay.
Nice.
So
Yep.
the ones that fail take 14 fire damage, and the one that saved takes 7 fire damage.
Okay. One of them falls to the ground in ashes.
Oh.
You way overkill them. And then the other one falls off, but is still alive, but looks like he's black now. Like he's just covered in like crisp.
Don't say it.
Don't even.
And then the other one, looks pretty bloodied. And they all just kind of turn to you. Oh wait, what's that?
Do they all fall off, or
Oh, never mind. One's dead for sure. The other one is not black. He's not crispy anymore. But he's bloodied. Yeah, so they're both bloodied.
did they all both fall off the statue?
Yeah,
or
they all fell off the statue, so they're all just on the ground in front of it.
Do they have wings or anything, or do they just?
Nope.
Okay, it just the way you were talking about them seemed like they were kind of fluttering around.
No. They're like, I can show you pictures of them. Like one looks like a pound of flesh with arms and legs,
Oh, okay,
and then the other one looks kind of buggy, but like more like an imp bug.
okay.
But he
It's
doesn't
like
have wings.
nothing.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you want pictures?
Well, I mean, if you show me, you're gonna have to show the cameras too. You don't have to.
Well, the cameras are already seeing it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'd like to see it.
Okay, I'll
What these
pop.
little goobers look like.
I'll pop the picture up for each of them.
So basically, we walked into a room.
So that's
there they
this
are.
guy.
Oh.
We
they're
walked into a
ugly.
room. We saw Lazarus get really
And that
mad.
guy.
Ugh.
And one of those flesh things is dead.
We
now,
saw
right?
Yeah.
those weird things attacking a statue. Then a weird cloaked figure burnt them to shit.
I really don't know who to point my gun at right now. I'm not doing anything, but like, I'm at the wary.
Yeah, I think
All
I'm
right,
saying
so
that
who-
is, like,
So you guys want to
I'm attacking.
give your
the
your
demons.
initiatives then, those who are attacking?
18.
Carrying 18. Mm-hmm.
I got a 12.
12.
I got a 17, but Tristan goes first because
Well,
he.
Has
I'm a little bit conflicted as to whether or not to fight, so I'm going to sit this one out.
You could
You
like
can
hold
you
an
can
action.
hold your action.
I could hold my action, but this is going to end pretty quickly anyways, and I'd rather be ready for next combat.
It's up to you.
Attack some random imps with people I don't really
don't know if
trust
they're imps.
yet.
Oh, you don't trust us?
So,
For an hour after meeting you? Not
Kareem,
really.
Serena, did you roll initiative too?
Yeah, I got an 8.
8. Okay.
Nice. Solid roll.
Yeah, these guys are pretty weak.
Fine.
So
They're not
yeah,
weak.
Kareem, you're
I'm-
you're
All
first.
right, I'm up. Which one looks the most hurt from her burning hands?
Actually, you'd think the bug guy, kind of the
Bug guy,
buggish, creepy one, but he also looks like the leader is the most hurt.
All right, so the most hurt one.
But they look pretty. They look both pretty hurt.
I'm going to look at him, look at everyone, and be like, killed the demons. And with my fiddle, play a nice little tune and cast Vicious Mockery, and he has to succeed on a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
what's your
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm getting to that. Got something for that.
Your mockery must
Uh,
be vicious.
It's a 14 save that he has to make. So first we'll see if he makes it.
Ooh,
He doesn't.
just doesn't.
He doesn't. All right. So I'm going to say to this ugly-looking thing, "You're so ugly. When your mama dropped you off at school, she got a ticket for littering."
And he, how much damage?
That's 2 damage.
Does that make any sense in this context of the world?
I read it in an old text somewhere.
There's school, but the demon doesn't know what school is and just looks very perplexed and kind of like.
This disturbs me.
So that's 2. Ooh, what kind of damage?
Pretty sure it's psychic. isn't it?
Psychic damage.
2 psychic damage. Yeah, so
But
yeah.
we're not calling it emotional damage.
So like
I
a
know.
pass of the bear barbarian would just be like, that's so hurtful.
Awesome. So that happens.
How bad's he looking?
He looks pretty bad.
Oh yeah, he
Looks
does.
pretty shaken up.
All right.
Can't.
So-
I would love it if
after all-
that had killed him.
After all, he almost got killed for littering by a arbiter.
Yeah.
So are you threatening his mama with the same thing?
No, he wasn't gonna get killed for littering.
Vandalism,
He was
vandalism.
That's the same
Vandalism.
thing.
Oh, my apologies.
It's the same
Littering
thing.
and vandalism were not the same thing.
Alright,
true.
so now it is Tristan's turn. You're gonna hold your action.
I'm going to run behind the nearest cover, and if any of them come near me, I'm going to cast magic missile at them.
Okay. So you could hide behind these pillars here.
Sweet.
So
And
towards
make
the-
a-
towards the entrance of the room.
Cool.
That, or you could hide behind the statues, which seems to be upsetting people.
No, I don't want to go near those statues.
Okay.
I'm running behind the pillar.
Okay, you can go hide behind that pillar.
Oh, also, for my movement, where was I again?
You probably would have been somewhere around here, so that's
Okay.
fine. You could have got there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Except
that's-
Vicious Mockery has a range.
Oh,
so
okay,
I'm
yeah.
just hanging back.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's
Sure
all I
thing.
need. I just need to hide.
Alright, and now it is the Arbiter's turn.
So which one is least damage?
The one who looks like a pound of flesh.
I'm gonna go for him.
Awesome.
Alrighty. So I go up to him, and I use my bonus action to put my shield away.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna take a swing at him with my longsword.
Sounds good.
So does an 18 hit?
Yeah.
All right. So that is 9 points of slashing damage.
How do you want to do this?
I take out my sword, and I say, "In the name of King and Kingdom, I sentence you to death." And I plunge my sword just right through him.
Jeez.
He just kind of like dies.
Did you say it in abyssal though?
What?
Did you say it in abyssal so that?
Yeah, I did say it in abyssal.
Okay, so we just heard a guttural screaming noise, and
Yeah,
then you
it's like
stabbing
it's like
someone.
I sentence you to death in name of King and Kingdom. Do you understand your sentence? And I just plunge my sword into him.
Don't
Not
give
even
him
waiting
time
for his
respond.
reply.
No.
I don't
fine.
understand the sentence.
Wait, can I get an attorney?
What's a king?
He's
Alright.
Judge Judy and executioner.
And now it is the last guy who's alive's turn. So the little bug guy. He's gonna kind of. How much movement speed? Okay. He is going to get the heck out of dodge.
That's
Good
fair.
plan.
So he's over here. I believe Serena's character's over here. Arbiter's there. Arbiter, you're probably gonna get a.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, because he's gonna try to run away. Then
Okay.
you're like right in front of him too.
So yeah, I'm gonna swing at him.
Wait,
Should've
he's
inspired
gonna
someone
run,
as a bonus action.
and he's gonna make out. He's yelling us. He's kind of making a like, help in like a abyssal.
Does a 17 hit?
Hell yeah!
All right. So I'm gonna take a fucking swing at him.
All right.
It's 11 damage.
Jeez.
Oh,
How do you want to do this?
Does he have a head?
Yeah.
Does he have hair?
No, he's got horns,
I grab him by the horn, stick him in the ground, and slash his head off.
and he's just still yelling. Ah! And his head
Yeah.
falls off. He kind of just falls to ashes.
And I throw it up in the air and slice it in half.
Fuck.
Freaking metal piece of shit.
And as his kind of squeals die out because they echo through this chasm, you hear a roar.
Oh.
Right, yeah, no, I'm planting myself in front of the prince, and I'm just like, where did the roar come from?
Everywhere around you. You can't
Alright.
make a
Alright.
distinguishable
As
noise.
he plants
It's echoing
himself
around you
behind
too.
the prince, I'm gonna plant myself
No,
behind him.
no, I'm not planting myself
In
behind the
front of
prince.
the
I'm in
prince.
front of the prince.
As he plants
And
himself
I'm
in
kind
front
of, like,
the prince, I'm
pointing it-
behind him.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Behind
pointing
him
my
in front of the
cannon
prince?
Yeah.
towards
Alright.
the
Just like,
statues,
hey.
like
Still behind
just
the pillar.
mostly towards the arbiter and the new person who's shown up. Just because I don't know exactly where the roar is coming from.
Okay. And the roar, it happens again. Everyone kind of looks concerned. The Doro guard kind of gets in front of his king. All like the dwarves kind of huddle up and kind of protect their king or their prince. Sorry, and all the elves kind of huddle up to protect their prince, obviously. And the Merlin's just kind of looking around and going like,
I wish I had a huddle.
well, he's just trying to figure out
Come
where
over
it's
here.
coming from, but also he's like, you can tell he's too interested in everything around him to be like, gotta worry about whatever that is.
Yeah.
Because he's so fascinated. Yeah. So from the direction you guys came, I'd like everyone to roll a perception check first.
Fuck.
It's an 18.
8.
Pretty good. That's a 19.
I got an 18.
No movie, Mike.
It's an 18.
Okay, so did everyone roll an 18? Or a 19?
I got an 18.
I got an 18.
We're very
What'd you get, Kareem?
perceptive.
Got an 8.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Kareem's-
Kareem's
Never.
character is the only one to not notice that there's this big black thing coming from where you guys came from. He's looking the other direction because of the echoes.
Huh?
How far away is it right now?
It's actually closest to Tristan's character, who's hiding on the wrong side of the column now, and it's
bitch.
probably 10 to 15 feet away from him.
Oh shoot.
He readied his magic missile though. Can he just shoot it?
If he wants to, but I'm gonna just finish
I'm gonna
describing
hold it for a sec. I'm gonna let
what
him
this creature
continue.
is. So this creature basically, as best you can describe, is a death claw.
Fallout?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's all black. It's got horns. It looks kind of like a raptor, kind of giant lizard thing. This thing looks badass. It's definitely something that you feel like you probably couldn't handle solo at all.
A lot of us though.
I get the arbiter. Do you want to roll a history?
It's a 11.
You're not quite sure what this is. You know it's definitely a demon, though.
Can my character tell that it's a demon?
Oh yeah, your character would know that too.
Okay.
Guys, where's that sound coming from? You hear echoes?
And this creature just kind of comes out, and it just looks ready to tear shit up. I'll show you guys what it looks like.
Oh jeez.
That's kind of what that looks like. So,
What's that on the head?
That's scary.
it's horns. It looks very much like a death claw.
I haven't seen a Deathclaw.
Oh, okay.
You don't
Play Fallout, man.
4?
I don't play Fallout 4.
Or
Wow.
Fallout 3, or New
Or
Vegas,
3,
or
or 2.
Fallout
or
1, Fallout 2.
I just don't play Fallout.
Anyway, so this guy just
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
comes out, and he's gonna charge the two groups of people all huddled up that it sees. It doesn't pay any attention to the man cowering behind the columns.
with you.
So you had magic missile ready though. Are you gonna shoot it up?
If you
Yeah,
want to.
I will.
It's already gonna charge these guys. So yeah.
All right, sweet. I'm going to just roll it.
Yeah,
then.
you were behind everybody too.
I'm
So
behind
you,
you.
yeah, like that's closer to the death claw.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You seemed capable.
So that is a 12 force damage in total.
12 force damage.
Yeah.
Good.
You seemed so capable.
You haven't seen me fire off my thunder
I
cannon
may
yet.
be a coward.
As this
but I'm a
creature
useful
kind of
coward.
charges towards the group, you notice that the two princes and the Dorgar have also readied their actions. So they're all gonna get a shot at it first. They weren't gonna let you guys do all the fighting, so I'll just have to bring up their character sheets. The Dorgar's the first one to react. He's gonna charge up to it, kind of meet it head on, and he's going to attack it with. You notice he's got a long sword and an axe in his hands. So he's going to attack it. And both his attacks just kind of bounce off of it. It seems it just doesn't pay attack and whacks him out of the way.
So much for being a badass.
And it keeps charging. No, this thing's scary as hell.
Oh, okay.
It's big. It's a medium-sized fiend.
That's scary.
And then arrows get shot out from the prince. Should have this all ready ahead of time, and he's gonna attack it with some arrows. He's going to use some of his magical abilities. So you notice the prince, whenever he kind of grabs and puts an arrow in his bow and launches them off, there's a magical glow to them. And he fires off. One shot. And that hits.
Yeah.
Okay, so that does. Shit, that does a lot of damage.
Hey, babe.
I need to have all my dice more ready.
It's all good, dude.
Oh. 10 plus 2d6.
Gross.
Really? Really, Kareem?
Ew.
This is
Can
some
you
Kareem.
say anything?
this is some
I sure can.
intense
Yeah.
combat. And he launches out an arrow that just kind of surrounds this thing in thorns and kind of scratches it all up. It seems to kind of take effect. It slows down its charge.
Interesting.
And then the dwarf prince kind of charges out at it as well. All the dwarves kind of like almost want to charge after behind him, but I'm not going to do that because that would be crazy.
You could just
Yeah,
make
you could
one roll and have that be all
A
of them.
mob
Yeah,
roll.
you could also just have all the NPCs kill it for us.
Mob
Really
rolls
good.
are a thing, but
Ah.
Oh
don't worry
yeah,
about it.
I guess all the dwarves just charge with the prince.
Alright.
There you go.
None of their blows hit.
And they're going to attack, and that very much hits.
Barely misses.
So that's yeah.
Don't touch me with that finger.
That one was him.
That you know of.
Yeah, all the dwarves just kind of hit on it, and it doesn't seem to do a whole lot, except for the prince, who kind of gets one huge cut on it, and there's a cut across its belly. And then it kind of just charges into the elf group, and it's going to deal its damage to that group.
Well, this is the same initiative roll.
Same initiative? Okay.
Yep. There's just all those guys held their actions.
Okay.
Just haven't gotten to do anything yet.
Oh, you'll get your
Me
chance.
neither.
You burning hands.
I had a surprise round.
And, you know, some of the elves fall over, but none of them seem to take any much big damage from it. The prince kind of just stops it. The prince is very well armored, though, so, like, he just kind of has his arms out and kind of stops it. Its horns with his, like, gauntlets, pretty heroic style. And it's the top of the round, so it is now Kareem's character's turn.
What?
I didn't get
what?
to do
Wait,
Oh,
did he
sorry,
go yet?
Serena's
It's
turn.
not the top of the round.
I
Yeah,
got a
either.
12.
It's him and her.
Oh, yeah, it's TJ's first.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all good. I was excited, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, seeing this much bigger threat, I'm going to point my thunder cannon at this thing, line up a shot, and I'm gonna bang. Crit fails.
You're going
As soon as you
bang.
do that, I'm gonna be like, you can do that?
There's a 17 hit.
A 17 hit. Yes.
Did not know you could do that.
What?
Shoot something out of a strange device.
So he takes
Shoot something in the
12 piercing damage as a small leaden bullet just kind of goes right into it.
Okay. You notice this doesn't affect it as much as it would normally.
Dang.
Is it magical?
I don't believe it is. Not
Okay.
first level.
Hmm.
I'll double check, but I don't think it is.
Okay. I was just checking. And then now it is Serena's turn.
Okay.
Sorry
well,
about that.
First, I'm gonna be upset with myself for having freaked out, and now I can't use any of my protection spells, like an idiot. Okay.
Idiot.
Well, it's way on the other side of the room from you, too.
So are you going to take
How
your
far
action?
away is it?
Like a long
40
range.
feet.
Oh, well, I'm
not
just
that
going to
far.
Eldritch Blast it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Attack.
Does a 20 hit?
Yep.
Nope.
Awesome. I deal 10 damage.
10 magical?
Yeah.
Yep. That hurts him. He is not happy about that at all. He kind of roars
The fact
back.
that he's not happy.
Well, he is a demon, so that makes sense. I don't think anyone here really cares if he's not happy.
You know, I care about the demon's feelings. Maybe we just sent him a birthday card.
No.
Yeah, he
Nobody.
probably eat
Nobody
it.
wants to.
He kind of roars as that strikes into him, and he's just not having it. And he kind of looks back towards kind of looks towards this prince that's kind of holding his horn, and just kind of pops out this blow of breath, not happy at all. And now it is the top of the round.
My turn.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. So, seeing this gentleman, big, scary, dark-looking guy, no, take that the wrong way. I, for my action, am going to cast Fairy Fire on him, and he has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Beat 14.
Isn't that an area of effect, though?
Yeah.
It's an area of effect, but he still has to make a dexterity saving
But then
But
we
the
do
rest
too.
of us do too.
yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Plenty around him, not like.
Yeah, like
it's a
we're-
20
he
foot
charged
effect,
right
right?
towards the prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So if you're hitting him, you're hitting everyone.
Okay.
Except for...
Except for the guy hiding
except
behind
for
a pillar in the
Lemieux.
corner,
Okay,
like a
redact
tactical
that.
genius.
Redact that.
Yeah, everyone else is getting hit by it.
It's like a
Redact
20
that.
Well,
foot
I'm
cone,
40
I think,
feet
or-
away. I
Yeah.
would get hit by it.
Not you three are the only three not getting hit by
Redact that. I am instead going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
it. Wait, you're casting what?
Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, you can whisper to
So yeah, he's gonna have to make a Wisdom saving throw.
it. Okay.
Whispered.
What's the...
Sweet.
What does he have to beat?
What's the
What'd you
save?
say?
What's the...
14.
14? He fails.
He fails. All right, so that's 3d6, and must immediately use its reaction if available to move as far away as its speed allows away from you. The creature doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground, such as ba ba da ba da ba. Okay.
Such as blah, 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 blah.
Did fire or okay. Cool. So that is 11 points of psychic damage.
How do you want to do this?
Ooh.
What did you say to him?
I'm just going to
No one
whisper.
loves you.
I just whisper under my breath.
Your face is really stupid and your mom doesn't like you.
Wow.
Got
Fucking
As he just kind of slumps forward, and the prince just kind of is like, "Oh shit," and just kind of like lets go, and it just kind of falls to the ground.
I take a bow.
And the creature is now, for all intents and purposes, looks dead.
I'm gonna walk up to it and just give it a kick in the head. Is it dead?
The Duergar comes up and just takes its head off.
It's dead.
Dead now.
It's like, I've heard of demons, don't like them. Horrible Scottish accent.
Fine.
We all love it, and that's
All
what
right.
matters.
Right.
Great.
What's the big red area
Yeah,
on that
I'm
map?
super curious.
Oh, you have to
We'll
explore if
find
you
out.
want to.
Yeah, right
So-
now we're over where those
yeah.
little tiny
I'm
cubes
So
sorry, I
right
didn't
now,
just inspire
this
anyone.
creature's just kind of dead right here.
Okay, so it's dead at the foot of
It's
The
dead.
statue.
Knott's
Can
And
I
then-
statue.
inspect him to see what the hell he's made of? If I
Yeah, you can come up and take a look if you want
yeah, I'm
to.
gonna inspect this guy. if that's
Okay,
Yes.
while he's inspecting,
Huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
some of the people are eyeballing you because they're not quite
I
sure
I'm
who you
still
are.
looking at you like, by the way, who are you?
Merlin would probably
God, would you just let me
Merlin,
introduce
being the
myself?
magical guy, would go up to her and be like, "Nice shot."
Trespasser,
Thank you.
introduce yourself.
I would unveil the hood, and you would see 2 perky bunny ears,
Jesus Christ.
some. Do bunnies have whiskers,
They
right?
do have
Yeah.
whiskers.
They do
A
indeed.
little cute little button nose.
Aww.
Big old buck teeth.
And since Merlin was kind of walking up to you, just kind of like taken aback for a
Hello,
moment.
Everyone. My name is Priscilla. I was created by nature itself to protect this land and its people. I am here to help you all.
Are you sure you weren't created from out of a wizard's hat?
Well, I'm a dragon, he's a cat. You'll fit right in.
It's great to hear.
Merlin's like, "Forgive me for being rude. I've never seen your kind around here. Are you from beyond the peninsula?"
No, I was created in the woods of this land itself, by nature itself. Not terribly long ago, of course.
He kind of just strokes his beard and says, "Well, it is the Valley of Wild Magics."
I'm going to just lean over to Peleus and go, oh god, it's a hippie.
Trespasser, you were angered at the attack on the statue. Why?
Because
Wow.
it's wrong to vandalize and desecrate. I am the protector of this land and its people. I need to protect what is on this land and what its people built.
Then what of the other statue?
What do you mean?
They were active in an act of desecration on the first statue, and then they moved to the one.
She only showed up when the third one.
She was there the whole time, I'm assuming.
No,
No,
we only noticed her pop up whenever.
I only
that
popped up after they attacked
third one was there.
the third statue.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know whether or not she was there the entire time or not.
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Well, once I found out that they were desecrating statues, I appeared as soon as I possibly could, but it takes time to get places.
I'm just gonna, quit caring about the Deathclaw corpse, sidle up to you and say, "Excuse me, my lady, Zorlin Cauldra, at your service. When exactly were you created by nature? Like, recently?
Yes, very recently.
Like 5 minutes ago?
Are you trying to
Oh,
find
no,
out if she's legal?
no.
No. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's it. Evan, what's the age of
So, like, 5
consent
minutes
in your
ago.
kingdom?
No,
The age
I'd
of consent,
say
according to my laws.
I was created about a couple of months ago.
Oh, so you're an infant?
No, I was created as an adult so that I could properly help everybody.
So your parent is a god?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a god. Nature itself.
So nature was pregnant and gave birth to
You'd
you.
you'd know that the orcs are very into worshipping nature and the cycle of life, so you think it may be related to that.
Oh, right, hippies.
Very scary, big hippies. Yes.
Also, some of your kind believe that too.
Oh, I know. I'm not from there. They're a bit off, but I love them.
So I'm gonna be looking at this Deathclaw thing.
hmm
I'm also gonna go there now. Yeah.
Just striking my artificer fancy. Is there anything that looks interesting on the body?
The horns are the only thing that seem to have done any damage to anyone besides its big arms that kind of brush the Drogar out of the way. There's nothing really crazy about it. It does seem like it's fiendish. It kind of smells of what's it?
Brimstone.
Brimstone. That's what I'm looking for. I was gonna say Grimstone.
That sounds cool.
That also sounds cool.
Could I make some
I
sort
like
of
that.
check to see if I could figure out what it is, like specifically?
You couldn't,
Okay.
but there are two people here who could.
Okay.
Could I try?
What was that?
Don't know.
Could I try?
Yep, you could, and Priscilla could.
So what's the roll for that?
History.
Alright.
For
well,
you.
I could go up to it and investigate it.
Yep.
'cause, Like, I don't
It's
know.
a 17.
I got.
You would
wait,
know this
I got
is
23.
yeah. You would the name Babao comes to mind for what it may be. It's some sort of fiend demon from the abyssal plane or from the abyss.
Yep.
And it's a pretty strong creature. You were lucky you were just a huge group of people to probably take it down. Had it
We're
taken
lucky
any of you
we had
guys
you.
on alone, you probably would have been massacred. You assume it was also here to protect the three little things. You're not quite sure what their goal was. You know it was vandalism, but like beyond that.
So far we've met a living man of metal in a town that rose from the ground, and now a cute living bunny person who was fending off demons. This seems normal.
Travelers, do you wish to continue?
Well, yeah.
Merlin's taking a good look at these statues.
Do you have any questions, one with long hair?
Well, who are these people?
I do know this, don't I?
Yeah.
Um,
The one, since you're all kind of gathered towards this one here is a statue of, I think I said Nox earlier, but I think
You
that's
did say
actually,
Nox.
I think that's incorrect. One sec.
Oh, well, could
I
be
may have
correct.
made it
Go on.
boo-boo. I'm
no, get
sorry.
out of here. Get out of here.
Whatever you
Oh.
say is the correct, eh?
Get.
It's your
gone.
world, so.
I know, but
Come cuddle with me, mischief.
story related.
Alright. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair
This
enough.
is
You
the
want to
part
get
of the stream
yourself.
where we all become obsessed with the
He doesn't want to get tied in knots this early.
Yeah. So
Oh
this
my God.
this one you would know as
Mischief take over his.
this one here
No.
is
Yeah.
Lapsus.
He would roll like-
Lapsus?
Yeah.
Lord.
Lord.
Do I know, like, the pantheon about this god?
You don't know them as gods. You know them as people. You would have seen them at least
Oh,
once.
yeah, these are people.
Yeah. So you would know these people. You know that
Did you have
she
to say it
Lapsus
that
is a
way?
she.
Yep.
And she was a part of the four rulers. They were all brothers and sisters, and that she was kind of a strong warrior and believed in kind of in good, but kind of had a weird way of showing it. she was very much into like different sorts of laws. She sometimes got in fights over the laws of the land.
This is one of our grand rulers of the kingdom. She is a very, very strong warrior, but has a twisted sense on what I call justice.
And
Lapsus.
she's alive?
I have no reason to believe she's not.
You notice the weapon that's on the statue, because the statues each kind of holding kind of their weapons. These are kind of monuments to the people that they are, and you assume they're all warriors. You notice a strange kind of weapon in her hands. It's a sickle on a chain.
Ooh.
They're called Kirisarigamas, which is not really a super practical weapon unless you're very skilled with it. So the fact that he said that she's a very skilled warrior would kind of be like, weird choice of weapon. And then the next one up this way, because Merlin wants the full tour, because he's a wizard, he likes to know things.
Yep.
He would want to know who this one is, and you would know this one as, I think I said this one was Deus.
Deus.
Ouch.
And he was kind of the oldest brother. He was kind of the main leader. He loved life and was kind of very generous to everyone, and he was very lawful and kind of made sure that you guys did your jobs properly. But he was also kind of too forgiving in some cases. So that's why he kind of created you guys.
Yeah.
Well, kind of had you guys be created. So the story says, and he's got a great sword that he's kind of just planted on, and he also has wings.
Deus is the oldest of the rulers. He is the one who created the idea for our watch.
Did your watch have a particular name? I don't remember.
No, we're just the watch.
Just the watch.
Yeah.
To know. Bloody crows.
Yeah.
And
Already our original joke.
Jesus.
and then the next one is Diabolus, which is the ones that they were last kind of on all the ashes of the demons are
She
scattered in
sounds
front
most
of.
trustworthy.
Ah, Diabolus.
Diabolus is a male.
Oh.
Dare you question
even
my
trust.
leader?
I'm sorry for misgendering your leader.
And he was
Triggered.
he was known for being pretty lawful, but he kind of took advantage of them. He kind of, so the story says, he kind of went and made it so that the laws had loopholes that he could get through.
He wiggles his way like a demon snake through the codes of the land.
But he was like lawful. But he's the one who made sure that there was a law so that people could duel.
Yeah.
So I'm picking up
He's
on the
got
fact
a-
that you like the law. Is that accurate?
Well, he's an arbiter. And this you notice on this person a rapier kind of in their sheath, just kind of both hands on it, almost as if they're not trying to show they have it in their hand, so kind of tricky like. And then the last statue, which is kind of over here where there hasn't been any action, is Malum. And you know Malum is kind of a bad name now. Was part of the Great Four. She didn't really regard the law at all. She sometimes caused fights and stuff where there was none to be had. So she was kind of
She stirred the pot.
Yep, she created conflict where there shouldn't be any. And you know, she's got a huge shield and a halberd. And you notice she also has wings. And yeah, those are the...
Do I know what the wings are for?
You think they're symbolic. You don't remember them having wings when you met them.
Okay.
It's symbolic. You assume it's why their weapons are there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the middle of this room, now you can see on the floor there's markings, and it's just kind of a square. You would know there was a thing that went up, like an elevator.
So,
But it doesn't appear to
okay.
be working because you know that there's no power. There's no magic.
do I know where I could turn power on? Is that the red room?
Red room.
Red room.
I don't.
Yeah, you'd know that there's a room in here that you can where there would be magical stuff stored.
Then I know where that room is.
You know it's on the other side of the wall from the statue of Diabolus.
So I continue to where that room is.
You have to kind of, yeah. How do you get to that room?
Well,
1 sec, I forget my map. You have to go back and then go around.
so I kind of explain to everyone, there's a room opposite this wall that will restore energy to this land.
Do we have a way to get into this room?
We have to go back
Go back to where?
to like where we came from.
Oh, okay.
Just looking around.
All right.
Is there just
Oh, no.
so there's just like it's a wide open area.
Yep, and the roof goes up beyond your sight. It's just dark.
And then like so once we're in here, is there any other way to keep going, or do we just have to keep going back?
You
Where we came
can't tell there's any doors in here. It just seems like it's all solid sheet rock. If you were really looking, I'd get you to roll investigation. If you were,
Gonna do that. Investigation. 14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of while
you,
he's doing the tour and everything.
you don't find anything. So do you lead them back? So back towards the main room, back where the columns are, you'll notice 2 doors on the sides there. So there's a door right here and there's a door right here. So on either side of the columns. If anyone's interested in peeking in there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I am absolutely interested in peeking there.
All these gents.
I have no interest in what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'll take a
Well-
look at the top one first.
The top one? Okay, so you head over here. The door opens and you're greeted by a pretty dark room.
I can see into it, right? I have dark vision.
Yeah, you can see. And you see kind of just a box in the corner.
Box.
Yeah. Everything else seems to have been either destroyed, like there's burnt pieces of paper, there's broken glass on the ground. But besides that, you see a box, and the box seems kind of like maybe it was locked. You can't really tell. It seems like it's like a chest, basically. Like that opening area seems kind of broken as it was damaged.
Okay. I'm just gonna call out. It's like I have found some sort of box, maybe a chest.
Ooh. I'll take a look at that if you want.
Sure, go right ahead.
Alright.
It'll
I'm just
be
gonna
like
make sure this is
Inception.
on the up and up,
Oh,
not
I see.
deadly to us in any way.
Yeah, so you just investigation, I guess, on that?
Yeah.
Like, what precisely are you investigating?
To see if this will harm us. It's traps. Oh, good, a 3.
It's not trapped.
There you
Good
go.
to go.
You're good to go. Go ahead and open it.
All right, I'll open it.
All right, you open it. All you see in it is kind of like ruffles of sheet paper, some knickknacks, nothing that looks valuable, nothing that seems to have any answers as to what could
There's
happen.
nothing on the paper.
Not that you can read.
Well, this is
But it is in
useless.
some sort of language.
Yep. A language you've never seen before, and you've seen
A lot of them.
you've seen dwarvish, halfling, gnomish, like
I'm gonna pick up the sheets of paper then. I'm taking
Alright.
with me. Taking with me.
so. It
knickknacks.
seems like the chest was already looted.
Yeah. Okay.
Kinda
Priscilla,
thing.
can you read these pieces of paper or no?
What language are they?
Nope.
No.
Don't know.
Yes, no.
I'm very sorry. Nature did not bless me with the ability to read this paper.
I thought you were just gonna say the ability to read.
Yeah, my two kind of like out there languages are Sylvan and Primordial, if that helps.
Nope.
I have Elvish and Halfling, if that's close.
Oh,
Are you sure?
What are
Why
you?
do you have halfling?
Because
I have
I
Draconic
have to
and
trade with
Combat,
halflings
that's it.
sometimes.
Yeah,
They're
no.
very artistic people.
Sure.
Alright, so you guys want to keep following the Arbiter, or are you guys going to go to the other room?
I'm gonna go to the other room.
Alright, I'm assuming the Arbiter's just going with...
Yeah,
like,
I'm not
yeah.
stopping for them.
The,
I'm not
the
slowing
dwarves,
down.
most of the dwarves would be I guess the rest of the party is following you. Merlin's
going
kind of
to-
taking his time behind looking at everything and just kind of like touching the
I'm going
walls.
wherever
And,
the most people are going.
so you'd be with the
I'm
rest.
going to go with the Arbiter. And
I'm
say,
gonna go into that other room.
You seem like
Yeah.
a kind of person who would be very handy to have in a fight and protect me because
Yeah, so
you
you
killed those things very.
you open that room and you find a first kind of looking in, you see this kind of what would almost be just this kind of long desk along the wall. Everything that's on there is like shattered, seared. It seems like whatever happened here, someone was breaking stuff or something.
Okay.
And then you look to the other side and you see bookcases. and one of the bookcases seems like it was set ablaze, and then the other bookcase is just kind of a lot of the papers kind of deteriorated over the time,
Okay.
which
Going-
is weird because everything else seems well preserved, including ice.
Okay, going over to that bookcase where it seems like it's been deteriorated over time. Can I try to pull off one of the books on the bookcase?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that.
It starts burning your hand.
Burning my hand?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna drop it then.
All right, you take 2 necrotic damage,
Okay. Cool.
So right now it's just in this room. It's
and
just,
the book turns to dust.
It's just Peleus and Arrington, right? The rest of the group is
Yeah,
elsewhere.
are you with him?
No, I'm in the other room as well with.
Okay, so everyone's with the group, kind of going up the hallway.
I'm the only one over here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Just one of them. I'm by.
I'm
the
going
arbiter's
to
side.
burn that into my mind. I'm gonna come back later, but for now I'm gonna go back with the
Okay.
party then.
So the arbiter, which way would you have gone, left or right? They both lead to the same place.
The path of righteousness.
I probably would have gone left.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go with path of righteousness.
Shut up.
And jokes.
He goes, so you go left and you greet it by just kind of a bunch of fallen rock almost blocking your way. One of the dwarfs kind of chipes up and he's like, I can see if I can get rid of this.
Yes.
Yeah. So he kind of goes forward and kind of pulls out like a little hammer and like a little like a kind of chisel like object and starts kind of hammering on it to see, and just like one of the smaller rocks, and it kind of breaks off, and then another rock kind of falls down, and he kind of looks up. A little bit of dust falls, but he kind of turns back to one of the other dwarves and goes, "What you think? You think it's stable?"
Is this like a magical wall?
No, it's just a rubble.
It's just a rock wall that fell
But,
from
like-
above.
Okay. Can we get over it?
Nope, it's all the way up to the ceiling. So he's just gonna okay, and then the Dwargar kind of steps. He kind of motions to the Dwargar. The Dwargar steps up, reaches over to one of the other dwarves, picks up a warhammer, and I just kind of pumps himself up, starts kind of growling, and then enlarges, and just one hand it goes with the hammer and just smashes through the entire thing. All the rocks just kind of fall forward. There's a path through. It's fine.
See, the element of surprise is the most important thing to have.
And the Dwargar just kind of gets back to his normal shape and just goes, "Never had much need for it."
It's always too badass.
Shall we?
We shall.
So you guys go through, and you just kind of come across
Yeah, I'm back
and
now.
to this hallway. You can see up the hallway. There's kind of rooms to the side. Do you guys want to keep going up this hallway?
Like, are there actual rooms that we
Yep.
can get into?
Yep.
We're
There's
gonna
there's
investigate those too.
doors.
Yeah, got it.
You'll have to
Do I see him going?
probably he'd have to go
I'm
up the
not
door.
being secretive at all.
Which door are you going to, the left or the right one?
I'm gonna go right first, I guess.
I'll go
Alright.
left.
I'm gonna stop him right away and be like, "Do you have permission to be in those rooms?
I didn't realize I needed permission.
This is not your homeland, and this is not your territory."
If you tried the door, you would have noticed the door is locked.
Oh well, I didn't realize the door was locked. All right.
I
then.
continue walking.
Okay. Do you try to get in through the, like, try again or something?
Well, like he continues walking. Is he looking back at all?
I can probably hear you if you try anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of noise, and it's like a building made of stone. It would echo.
All right. I'm not gonna try anything right now. Then.
Right. Does Zorlin try
I'm
after seeing that?
just gonna slip up to Peleus and just casually whisper, "What do you think? Bend the rules a little and try anyway, or walk with Mr. Scary made of metal?"
Gonna bend the rules in front of Mr. Scary Made of Metal.
Wait for him to walk ahead a little bit.
Maybe.
Good idea.
As you guys, I guess, go forward, you notice off to your right, you would notice what looks like an altar almost. This is new to you. You don't remember this.
Strange. I wasn't here before.
And you would notice this altar kind of
I gotta
has
take
a...
permission to be here now.
Dude, shut up.
As there a head can, with Peleus' help, can I attempt to try and open this lock?
Yeah, if you want to.
I mean, I went ahead with them for now. I'm
Oh, you
not.
went ahead?
I'm not doing it right now.
Okay.
I mean, they're only like 15 feet away from
Yeah,
okay.
it's way too close.
I thought he was further ahead. I'm going to follow along with him.
Okay. Do you want to inspect it, or are you just gonna keep going? I guess what you see really is just kind of like the stone with kind of a greatsword sticking out of
A
it.
great sword.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go investigate that.
Okay.
So. 19 for investigation.
19. Okay, yeah. You would know that this greatsword, just from having been in the other room, resembles greatly to Deus's greatsword, and it's actually a real sword. It's just stuck in this.
Can I try to pull it?
Yeah, if you want to.
Sure.
The roll strength.
Is removing the sword from the holy statue a good idea?
Well, it's more of like just a kind of a stone altar.
That's a 23.
Holy altar.
Yeah, you pull it out. It comes out pretty easily for you. It seemed like it may have been hard for someone who hadn't been like made of metal,
Yep.
or really strong. If someone who didn't have steel pipes. So you pull it out, and you now have a greatsword that, if you you can further inspect it.
Yep.
Okay.
13.
13. It's a magical sword for sure. You're not sure if it's 100% Deus's real sword or not. You'll have to take a short rest to attune to it.
Well, I put it on my back, and I continue.
Steal that?
Yeah, didn't you
Is
say
that
that
lawful?
this was,
Do you know whose sword that
Nala's
is?
I do know whose sword this is.
Do you
I
have
believe this to
permission?
be Deus' sword, and if he is without it, I must return it to him.
So you have permission to take that sword.
I am the captain of the watch.
Like,
But that
the
doesn't
Elven
mean you're
Prince is
above
kind
the
of like,
law.
well, he's kind of in the right. I mean,
No, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like my
Yeah.
character's mentality is I'm probing what he considers to be right and wrong right now.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to
But
know,
he's
good
like
to
the
know.
person just kind of reassuring everyone that like he's kind of right, like, and he's also trying to get on his side. You can tell because he's a very diplomatic person.
I am the captain of this watch, and I will do what I see fit within the boundaries of my laws.
Of course.
He, for all
just
intents
wondering,
and
new to
purposes,
this
if
place.
Deus
Well,
was
it
the
sounds
leader
like
and
he's
he's no
being
longer
above the
here,
law.
then this man must be the leader now until we find Deus.
I would agree with that. Let's not start conflict within our own group here.
I'm just.
And like
Well,
the
I'm not
Doroghar's
bothered
just like,
about
I
it.
like conflict.
I'm new here.
The laws will be decided and judged by myself.
Would you mind if I could have a copy of this law book? So I
There is no written laws in
I'm
this
fairly
community.
certain-
You are grown and hold the
I'm
laws.
pretty sure he is the law book.
I'm
Do you
pretty
see
sure
me? I am the law.
I'm pretty sure you're making up these laws as you go.
Again, what did I
Are you
say
questioning
about
my training?
not pissing off the guy
I'm
with
not
the
questioning your
castle
training. I'm questioning why you won't let me know these laws, so I don't have to break them and get detained.
If you wish to speak about the laws later, we will make time for it.
Yeah, that's all I wanted.
Right now, I will update you and be very vocal if you are infringing upon them.
Okay.
Emerald the Prince
and
kind of goes like,
just-
so far his laws have been pretty similar to our own.
except for the part where there was people vandalizing a statue, and he cut their heads
You
off
call them people?
immediately.
They were demons,
Sorry,
to be fair.
They are demons in
are you a
in our
racist?
in our Elven culture. Demons are considered bad. We haven't ever actually have a recorded meeting with one, but
And they were
Pretty sure, as
vandalizing
far
the
as I know,
statues of the pillars of our society.
you're quite right,
Demons
my
are
friend.
Absolutely, just completely awful.
See, I
And
agree
deserve
with
to
her.
die.
I agree with
I walk away from this conversation.
All right, so he kind of walks away. Are you guys gonna follow, or
I follow him.
okay?
I'm gonna be very.
I'm gonna be at the
sulky,
back
though.
of the pack,
I'm gonna be in the middle.
kind of like slowing down a bit.
I'm just gonna be in the middle, chatting up the princes.
I'm gonna be.
So you guys head up. You come around the corner, and you kind of see a faint glow
Well, that's promising.
coming forth. You come forward, and you see this floor covered in bones. Like there's blood everywhere. It looks very sacrilegious. It looks horrible, disgusting. I don't know what everyone's character's like amount of gore they've ever seen.
Pretty gory.
This is pretty gory. There's blood everywhere. There's bones. Like, blood sacrifice may be a word that kind of comes to mind. This is against the law.
This is against the law.
Well, that's good to know.
It's definitely against the law.
Do I recognize any?
Any of the bones?
Oh, they're bones?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
No,
Like,
scraps.
they're human remains, but they're not, like, in skeletons. They're just kind of scattered. And then you notice across, this blood's kind of just covered. This room's got almost a reddish glow to it. And then you notice there's also kind of a stone altar on, like, a desk almost. It's like a bigger altar than the other one. The other one was only just, like, maybe a foot by a foot, so just enough for the greatsword to go in. This one's kind of a desk, and you'd notice that there would have been room for a, it seems like some sort of, like, have you seen, like, a weapon case where there's kind of, like, a hook where the weapon could kind of lay across? So it's kind of like that. There's, like, 2 hooks that maybe a weapon could have laid across, and the weapon is gone. There's nothing there, and there just kind of seems to be blood all over this altar. You would notice kind of demonic ruins. I guess, well, everyone would notice them. You'd be able to read them.
What do they say?
They're taunts and insults to Diabolus, just saying kind of like... Diabolus is the lord that was kind of known for not being... kind of putting loopholes in laws. And you would notice that these kind of taunts are kind of saying like, oh, let's kind of like... you can't handle conflict, you're such like a pushover and stuff like that.
Can
and
my character read it?
Speak of
can your character read Abyssal?
No.
Is there anything else about this room?
That's a pretty decent room. Like, that's 15, 5, 10, that's 25 feet by 25 feet of blood and bones.
But I'm assuming
And
that
they're not scattering outside of the room. Like,
assuming it's
this
the red
floor is all
room.
the same level, but they're not flowing out.
Is this the red room?
Yes, the red room.
I enter the red room.
You enter the red room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really, like, bad seems to happen. Like, you're walking in blood.
I step in with him.
Merlin looks very concerned. Everyone's just very solemn looking.
So I'm guessing this is against the law.
I do not appreciate your tone.
Just trying to get to the bottom of this. Were the demons we killed the ones responsible, or are there more?
I do not have that information right now.
Merlin goes up to the ruins and says, "Can anyone read this?
I'm aware of what they say.
You can read this?
Yes.
What does it say?
They're taunting.
Taunting to who? To what?
Diabolus.
Huh.
Saying that
Who
he
would-
is not a capable enough leader and that he cannot take on the Horde.
And you were attacked. Do you think the demons... Do you think this could be part of the, like, what the demons were doing earlier?
It is entirely possible. However, based on the fact these are bones, they and I have been sitting for a lot longer than I previously thought.
Well, are they bones, or is there flesh on the bones as well?
No,
They're
they're
just bones.
Just bones.
No. And they're, like, red stained from blood.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, everyone just looks very solemn. Does anyone want to try to do anything to the room?
Is there like a switch or anything in this room?
You'd notice that there is more kind of slots, and they're all empty. And you would know that that's where crystals would have been for magic. Kind of similar to the big purple one we saw earlier. And they're all missing.
Crystals are missing. Those slots on the wall, they held crystals in my time.
And the crystals activated some sort of power source?
Aye.
Okay.
Perhaps we should scan out with our magical senses, my fellow magicianal people.
That's the term for it.
So Merlin kind of puts his hands out and just kind of gets real funky looking.
Well, I'm gonna take like if that's what we're doing, I'm going to take about 10 minutes and cast Detect Magic, because I can do that as a ritual.
This
Okay.
is not my wheelhouse.
It's not mine either.
How about you, Mr. Wizard?
I'll look around, but
Mm.
I don't have a detect magic. I don't have any spells to help me with it. So I'm just going to use my experience with the magical arts to
Merlin kind of gets funkier.
funkier.
He rolled a 1.
Oh,
He's just like,
he's like getting down
I'm
and getting
really
funky
feeling
now.
it.
Yeah.
I should get that on camera for the stream. It's where's my camera? There we go.
So it's
There we go. That's kind of what he's doing.
There it is.
There it is. There we go.
Yeah, so after I finish casting Detect Magic, it lasts up to 10 minutes while I keep it concentrated.
Okay.
And then within 30 feet around me, I sense the presence of magic. And if I sense it this way, I can use my action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears such magic. And I learn its school of magic, if any.
Okay. Well, I assume our friend Merlin is just going to be helping you at this point, or you're going to be kind of channeling each other or something.
Yeah.
What magic people do.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll for him just to see how good it does. It's 2.
Okay.
So, okay, 30 feet.
I'm shaking a little.
It should encompass the whole room.
Did you not know that?
Yeah. You would know that they're not in the room.
Okay. So, I mean, it lasts for 10 minutes, so I'm just going to kind of, like, move out.
Okay. So Merlin would kind of walk with you. Is anyone else following?
Follow. I don't know what the hell's going on.
They're doing magic stuff.
Doing magic stuff.
I'm gonna stay with the biggest concentration of people.
I'm gonna
Okay.
assume.
I'll stick around with Priscilla. Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that there's another one of those. What are they called? Pulpits.
This.
Altars?
Altars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the other
Nice.
statue would be, I'm gonna head like where I would assume the other one to be.
Okay. I assume that's the direction you guys are going as well.
Yeah, I might as well.
Yeah. So you guys head this way.
So
You'd,
my Detect Magic is still
yeah.
effective for
You'd
10
get your
minutes.
blip on the thing that there's a crystal in this room,
Okay.
which is the room to your left.
Yeah, so at that moment I would kind of turn, I'd be to you, and I'd be like, I sense that there is possibly a crystal in this room. Are we allowed in there?
Do you wish to accompany me?
Sure.
Then we shall.
Is it locked?
Nope.
Okay.
I open the door.
What do we see?
You just kind of see a room. There's not a whole lot. Desks have been smashed. Tables have been like tossed. There's kind of loose papers. As you can tell, thus far there's been a lot of papers and books and stuff in here. All the language you can't decipher. You could read it.
What does this paper say?
It's just research notes and
It's all
stuff on
research
magic.
notes. I am not well versed in these subjects. I would not be the one to ask.
And then you find amongst all this stuff, you find a crystal.
I pick it up. How big is it?
It fits in your palm. It's like a big egg, like a big ass egg,
Sweet.
like a mason jar sized egg.
And there's nothing else in the room?
Nothing worthwhile, because you can't read any of this stuff.
So I kind of put this.
It looks ransacked, so like whatever good would have been in here, you assume it's gone.
I put this crystal into my pack,
Okay,
and I continue out of the room.
sounds good. You guys keep walking.
Yeah.
Okay, here you'll
There was
find.
another door, right?
Yes.
Did I sense anything in there?
No.
Are we still in the room?
As you get here, I should probably have the map up for this.
Yeah, just go ahead. Well, I think all of us are like outside of the red room.
As you guys get towards this area here, basically the other opposite side from the other altar, you notice another altar, just kind of facing in the opposite direction. And on this altar, you will notice there's demonic runes here as well. They just kind of say like Malum's the best and stuff like.
Is this like
Praises to Malm.
8th grade graffiti? Like, well, why are these demons?
They
so
were
juvenile?
like lower level demons who were like known for being tricky.
What does it say like Deus sucks with an X?
I say to Peleus, I say, one with magic, you have permission to enter these rooms as you see fit.
Why, thanks.
And you notice similar altar, and you see you would have seen a what would have been the size for a halberd in there.
Yeah.
Besides that, same kind of setup, columns on the side, not too much in this area. It looks like it was kind of like supposed to be a holy place, but for some reason these demons thought it was a good idea to put or someone thought it was a good idea to put demonic runes in here. As you get closer to this altar, you'd get a blip on the other side of the altar, kind of in between the wall and the altar.
Okay.
So they head up to, you head up to...
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sense something maybe behind this altar.
You may go.
Nice. So they go up, and you find 5 crystals behind the altar.
Crystals. Awesome.
That's convenient. There's 5 slots on the wall, right?
There was 6.
6.
Yes, we found the other one too. Look at us go.
One with magic. Do you wish to slot these crystals in, or do you wish to look in more rooms?
I would definitely like to look at more rooms, just to make sure we aren't missing anything.
I will meet you back at the red room. Exchange me the crystals.
Here you are.
Thank you.
I'd like to go look in all of the rooms that I can find.
All right. So there's 2 rooms. For brevity's sake, the 2 rooms would be the exact same, ransacked, sheets, desks, everything kind of thing. There's nothing really noteworthy unless you want to pick up random sheets.
I mean, that's kind of what my character would do, just
Yeah.
because, like, research.
Exactly. So you could do that, but like you don't find too much in there.
Yeah, I've already written down, because of what was in the chest, that I have unknown papers. I'll just add
Yeah.
that to those.
Sounds good. So yeah, and you also notice there's a rock wall here as well, not all the way up to the ceiling. You could have walked over this one.
Nice.
And that was in those 2 far rooms, right?
Yeah, these 2 rooms here.
Okay.
This is another room you didn't go into.
Yeah,
It would have the same stuff.
Okay.
While he's doing this, does anyone go out to put the crystals in?
I do.
Okay.
So can I, like, go over that smaller rock wall,
Mhm.
and then make my way back
To the center?
up to the other side, just not passing by the red wall, just going the other way?
Like going this way here?
Yeah, and then I want to try to get into these rooms, even
Okay.
if they're locked. Well,
Okay.
you said I have permission to go into any room, right?
While you're doing this, I assume Arbiter puts the crystals back in. Lights kind of hum up. The entire building kind of lights up you with some sort of magical light source. And you can see, everyone can see fine. Merlin undoes his cantrip.
I can see clearly now. The ring.
is gone. No, it's still
The
there.
blood's still there.
One is very much still there. So as the lights come back on, this whole time I've just been chilling back with the princess.
Yeah, and everyone's been following Arbiter because
Just-
he's the leader.
Just to the elf prince, I just lean over and go, "So how's the kingdom going?"
Well, my brother's doing a great job learning from our father, so I'm out here trying to do some good for the people.
Ah, man of the world, I see.
Indeed. And I mean, we've done well. We've fought off demons for the first time in elven history.
That's one for the history books, and your name will go down in it.
That's the plan. And he just makes a smirk. And then the elven person kind of elbows him.
So I kind of.
And of course, if possible, maybe a footnote for the paltry bard who played a role in certain.
He just kind of shrugs him. Sure.
My man.
I kind of continue around the way that we originally came from, where we knocked down the stone wall.
Okay, so you're heading back. So you'd probably this way.
Yeah.
All right, so you'd probably see him. Do you wanna? You'll probably get into one of the rooms if
Yeah,
you
I
roll.
have thieves' tools, so I'm
Oh, okay.
trying to
Yeah.
like, pick the lock on the one that I tried before.
Okay. Yep, that'd be better than trying to break them.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm not
band-
gonna
yeah.
break anything.
All right.
Do I see it?
Well, it depends
well, he's
on, like, I
for
would've
this
probably
time.
gotten there first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for this timing, he would have had enough time to at least do one door. So,
Okay.
Wait,
So what did I
aren't you a
find inside that
sorcerer?
top door?
and that top door, same
An
thing.
artificer? An artificer?
You notice.
They can.
Yeah, I know a lot of different tools. I'm a tinkerer.
That's what he does.
Yeah, his thing is like he's good with tools.
Yeah.
You notice in this
He's
room,
like Timothy Man.
the ambiance is more of a lighter ambiance. There's less research papers, as there's more like just kind of nicely done books and stuff. The room wasn't trashed, so there's just books upon books. Uh,
Can I sense anything magic-wise?
not you have your detect magic on.
Yeah.
No, these are like library rooms, so there's. I don't know like what's the exact wording for just if there's magic.
Yeah, basically. And I'll know that it's present and what school it is.
Do magic tomes have magic to them?
Yeah.
That's up to you whether it inherently has magic or if it just describes magic.
I would say for the sake of it now, none of these rooms have anything, and you wouldn't be able to read it anyways.
Okay.
But like you'd probably make notes. This room is pristine.
Yeah. All right.
You also notice whenever you go through the room that like there was a bit of a sensation of like maybe if you weren't a decent person, you wouldn't have been able to get in.
Huh. All right.
Perhaps that's why this room wasn't ransacked.
Yeah.
So whenever you leave, you see Arbiter and a bunch of the people coming down the hallway. Everyone's kind of happier now that the lights are on. The Dwarrow guard has his sunglasses back on.
I'm gonna try to get into the one at the bottom now.
Oh wait. Do you want to roll for that one now?
Sure.
Can I be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, of course.
I'd just be like kind of looking up from picking the lock and be like, well, you said that I had access to all of the rooms. I'm just making sure we didn't miss anything.
Do I have like a way to get into these rooms that'd be faster than him, seeing as I'm the captain of the watch?
A boot.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Can I just like get into these rooms without having to cause trouble because I'm the captain of the watch?
I'm not causing trouble.
Does he have
Yeah.
like a key card?
Yeah, sure.
I have a key card.
Oh, well, that would be a lot
Step
easier than
aside while I enter these rooms for you.
You just kind of put your hand to the door and like a key comes out of your palm and you open it.
No, it's just
Oh.
like
Yeah.
it just like beeps and opens.
Just beep.
Cool.
This room also is kind of the same thing. You get the impression this was kind of the research and kind of just like a storage of knowledge place.
Okay.
Um,
And then the other two rooms on the other side, would those be kind of... Were there rooms there, or...
the other two rooms here?
Yeah. Are those two rooms?
Yep.
Okay. Well, then I would definitely say, like, oh, I would like to check out the other two rooms as well. If it's alright with you.
Fine.
For brevity, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Alright.
You
Yeah.
probably are super pumped that there's so much
There's a
pristine
lot of
books and
stuff
stuff.
here, yeah.
You just need to learn the language to read them.
We may come back for these later if you wish. We may continue to the top of the tower now, though.
Alright.
So I go back.
You
to,
haven't
like-
seen stairs.
I haven't.
I go-
Awesome. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be arguing with him.
Yeah. So everyone, I guess you go back to the center room.
Yep.
All right. And then you notice this room's very well lit. You can see all the way up. It kind of goes up probably about 100 meters, and then kind of closes off. But then there's like kind of like a noticeable difference in the very center, above where like the square is.
Okay.
And you can all kind of get up on that. Well, I guess you lead them up on that.
Yeah, I lead
Yeah.
them up.
You'd be familiar with this. So you get up on this, and then you kind of just, yep, starts going up.
Whoa!
And some of the dwarves kind of just like grab the floor, just like,
Is this supposed to do this?
Are you not familiar with the lift technology?
No, that's
No.
why I'm asking.
It lifts us.
That's very self-explanatory. I like it.
It is a saving. It saves space from having stairs everywhere.
all
How
right.
does
So
it
you guys,
work?
you guys go up for a
It
bit.
just works. I don't know.
Magic, I'm
crystals.
assuming.
Merlin
Magic,
just
he
Merlin
doesn't
just kind of
have
goes
to explain it.
magic.
Sweet.
So you guys kind of go up for a bit. You kind of go up, and you kind of see just like doors as you go up. You keep going all the way to the top. When you come to the top, you come out to this big room. I don't have a map for this room, but it would probably be about the size of this room here.
Okay.
And in this room, you kind of see there's like almost windows, but it's transparent kind of stone. So it's very interesting material. All the dwarves are like, Dorograph the glasses is not impressed.
Transparent stuff.
How are the elves reacting?
They think this is amazing. They have like there's some similar stuff in the Drow Mountain of their homeland. So the prince would probably be the only one who would have saw that. But he's possibly. would have saw that, and it's similar, but like that mountain's very old, so they assume this must be related to whoever anciently built this city. So up here, you kind of get a great view of everything. You look out, and you can kind of see in the far. Let's bring back the normal map here. So from here, you can zoom out. So from here, you're up about 800 meters. So you're 300 meters above the cliffs on the side. And you can kind of see out. You see the mountain range in the distance. It's a great view. You can see the steps kind of sprawling out ahead of you.
Whoa.
It's an amazing view. I don't think any of you have ever seen anything quite so similar before. It's literally breathtaking. And the prince just looks super proud. Like, the dwarfs are all kind of like really happy with this kind of discovery. You'd be kind of disappointed because you were probably hoping someone would be up here who would be able to tell us, because this would probably be where the high scholars or anyone who was in charge would be. So you're kind of disconcerted by that. You don't see anything around. It's got just kind of a big table in the room. There's nothing of noteworthy in here.
Strange.
Yeah.
Look at this view, though. One for the history books.
The prince kind of looks to the dwarf, and you can overhear him saying to the dwarf and being like, "Perhaps this is the place to do it."
To do what?
And he kind of turns to everyone present, the two royalty, the prince and the dwarf turn to the rest of everyone gathered. He says, "Well, as we'd like everyone to be kind of a part of this, having you guys here as well, you travelers who have joined us, we hope to build a capital and unite all the peoples of this peninsula together."
The people of this peninsula are united.
My friend, it has been a long time. Are you familiar with the dwarves, the elves, the halflings, the humans, and all other creatures that live among
What am I
here?
familiar with?
Elves.
Elves?
You dwarves is kind of like, maybe.
I'm familiar with your kind, not theirs.
It seems a long time has passed. There has been strife throughout the lands. There has been people who have not gotten along, as our dragonborn bard friend Zorlin has mentioned. His people have been discriminated upon by the humans. Merlin just kind of like,
I mean,
I'm
so
sorry.
are you. Just most humans think we're the dragons that drove them out of their homeland. It's a little far-fetched.
exactly. So we hope to make a place where everyone could come together and live together in peace.
And you wish for this to be my home?
Well, you said your home was once the place of a great kingdom.
It is the place of a great kingdom.
I'm sorry, your friend, but it appears the kingdom has fallen. We saw no trace of anyone but demons. Perhaps the demons killed your people.
This was the largest kingdom that stretched the entire peninsula from the south to the mountains. And you're insinuating
It
the
would
entire
have
kingdom
stretched
disappeared.
way beyond that.
Well, as the good prince said, a lot of time has passed. A lot can happen.
Perhaps by joining us in rebuilding this fine city, we'll find answers and discover who caused this.
Are you saying I serve no one now? I serve no individuals.
You could be like me and serve yourself.
You could
That is not what I was designed for.
you could serve this kingdom and keep its laws. We need help of many people, many different people of different species and backgrounds, because the more we bring together of different people, the better our chances are of convincing everyone to join together.
I just have
There's no need for conflict.
just have one problem. You're going to make some form of perfect utopia capital here, and everyone's going to live in harmony, and it's going to be great. I'm from Small, which is pretty integrated, and there's a lot of people, and let me tell you, it's not perfect. Not everyone is all friends. Why not actually focus on making the places that people live in right now better?
Why do you believe there's units like me created?
Well,
To enforce the laws of the land.
why not use him to make some of the surrounding cities better?
Well, Small is a special case. The halflings are responsible for that. The
So
prince
it's just-
prince looks a little unimpressed.
just their problem.
Well, no, it's all our problem now.
The tall one with crown, what is your name?
I'm Immoral.
Nimeral.
Immoral, yes.
The Arbiter kneels before him and says, as long as there is no other king above me, I will serve you.
Oh. We said the idea is that we all work together in unison and would have a council, and
Do I serve this council?
that would be the idea. Yes. And he said the door my counterpart here, Prince Thorin, would also be amongst this council, and if we were to bring people of the Orcish tribes here, they would be a part of the council. We would want everyone to be represented.
Should I be a part of this council to represent nature and the land?
That would be great. The prince looks very confused about it.
Wait, so you're telling me anyone can join the council? I can represent bards.
Perhaps
Bard, is that a new race?
We're people who make music and spread joy.
Perhaps the council
Vagrants.
would be better at a higher level. Perhaps you could be Lord of Bards and create a bard college.
We're creating a college for vagrants?
Well,
I just have the biggest.
it's to make a
minded
place for
grin
everyone.
across my scaly face.
It helps
To make
keep
a
them
place
off
for
the
everyone
street.
who is lawful and gets along.
Are you serious about that? Bard College, Lord of Bards thing.
Anything's possible with this
Could-
idea.
I don't know.
We just have to get everyone to agree on it.
Oh, of course, the council. It would take time.
Well,
Just
have you met orcs?
I have actually. Just
They
out
would
of-
probably be the hardest to convince to join.
Just out of curiosity, this Bard College, Zorlin's College of Musical Wonders. How's that sound?
We can agree upon that once we know that it's a possibility.
I put my hand out and say, "You've got a deal."
The prince just kind of shakes your hand, but isn't really too sure about it.
And I look at the arbiter and say, "That's binding by law.
By whose laws?
His law.
I told you it would be the council.
The council's law."
So
But I am the
Go
legal
back on
representative
that.
of the council.
Well, you're the enforcer of the council's law. And
it
that's the
it can
law.
all be decided upon on a later date.
Okay, just saying. My name,
But
etched in stone.
On your tombstone.
That's uncalled for.
Please, let's not kill each other.
well,
I'm good with that.
perhaps we could. Well, I have a kind of couple ideas. If we bring people who are very intelligent amongst our council, we can have better ideas and put this all together.
So I think that's a great idea, Prince.
Not a bad idea.
We could use
agree.
the help of dwarven councilmen from the old city of Dwaromir. We could use people from the human city to kind of get them open to this idea of multiculturalism.
Question.
We could use people from the Orcish tribes, the Dragonborn, the Halflings, the
But the
Gnomes.
backseat.
Exactly.
Would this
You have quite the influence, I hear.
Some small
would
influence.
this council still
Oh,
be able to
decline.
clean up the other cities?
Well, the idea would be to unite all the cities under one banner, one kingdom, one council.
Good to know. And as he said, you do have a lot of money to throw around, my furry friend. Correct?
A little less now than
You will all be
before,
paid if you
but-
help us. For now.
Did you hear that? We'll get paid
Yes, well,
and to be part of a famous council. I see no downsides.
My only hope is to serve my wonderful prince here.
What a kiss
I will
ass.
definitely serve the wonderful prince here if I get a part of college.
Well, unlike the rest of you, I will serve my own interests. But in a positive way for the kingdom, of course.
This is great. I'm glad you all agree.
You seem a little perturbed, my shaggy friend.
I no longer have a machinist.
What is that?
What you would call a physician.
Like a doctor?
I suppose so.
Like a metal doctor.
You mean someone who could provide upkeep?
Are you telling me you're a metallurgist?
Well, I have some proficiency in such things.
You don't have to do.
Boy.
One of the dwarves kind of comes forward. He says, "I've worked with a lot of metal. I can help as well."
Grand.
I have smith tools and I'm proficient with them.
Yeah.
I can play a song during.
I also
All
have
right. So do you guys want to just end that
carpenter's tools.
here for now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right. So that was episode 1 of Rise of a Kingdom campaign. We've actually had a couple people in on the Twitch chat, just kind of dropping some helpful criticism. Like I'm a
Hey, Twitch
Yeah.
chat.
Hey,
Twitch
Twitch
chat.
chat. Now it's
Yeah.
cool.
Who's on the chat?
Shadzar. I'm sorry, Shadzar. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. In DJ Lane, and they've been kind of talking here about our quality. I know our audio quality is really bad. Our microphones kind of failed, so we're using a webcam microphone.
Oh.
I thought these
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
No, these are recording for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of going on about how if I turned down the video quality, the computer would have an easier time with the audio. The issue with the audio is that the drivers didn't work for our specific OBS. It uses the interface is too advanced for OBS, so that wouldn't really change anything. We just need to fix the mics for next time, so that'll be arranged and fixed. But the audio quality in our stream and the video on demand on YouTube will be fine, so that's nothing to worry about.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks to you guys for watching, and thanks you guys for playing. I hope you guys enjoyed.